All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is match 2 of the ESDL. Tonight's matchup is going to be between the gods of Demacia versus Defiant. I am your host, Faoline, here, coming to you live from the ESDL channel. I am joined by my co-host here today, Rylan. Rylan, good to have you here. Absolutely. Really looking forward to seeing these two teams matching up. You were mentioning earlier that we're in a little bit of a lower elo, gold-ish right now, and I'm interested to see what kind of matchup we're going to be able to get coming out of here as we're still waiting on all the players to load up. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I've casted a couple games with the ESDL already, and I have enjoyed. Seeing the different kinds of strategies and drafts coming out because we have seen counter picks come through, not just for players, but we've also seen like Malzahar into Katarina. That's a very hard counter to the Katarina. So we've been seeing some interesting play. Some of these teams do have coaches as well to help them along through that draft, kind of take a step back and help them get the right team comp for them. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Let's see. And one thing that I'm curious is because I play League of Legends as most people do, and I still find it that the ADC role is pretty much team difference. Last game that I casted, I didn't see too much of the teams saving their counter picks for the mid and top lane because especially when a lot of power is going to be generated through those teams, that's where I like to see those picks coming through. But we are going to get started up here into the draft. Game has started. It's going to be interesting what kind of picks we're going to be coming up with here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And Jin can be a strong champion in the right hands, especially if it gets an early lead, able to get that four shot execution damage. So that's going to be taken off. And does have a lot of supportive potential with that long range snare. And also, we see a Nautilus banned away as well. Nautilus is very oppressive support player, support laner for the bot lane. Yeah, it is interesting. No, go ahead. No, go ahead. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. First, yeah, first pick coming out the Fiora. Pretty big top lane bully, but not a huge team fighter. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. If you watch the LCS, Evil Genius's Jizuke has been doing a phenomenal job of being a split push terror for the Evil Geniuses. So if we can see this utilized here in the ESDL, it would be an absolute good sight to see. Ooh. Mm, that will be interesting to see. And you don't see too many Teemos picked up in competitive play. I know this is just the minor leagues, ESDL style, but even still, seeing a Teemo come out is going to be very interesting because it is pretty much feast or famine. And if you have the right mentality, you can play around the map pressure that he brings. Mm-hmm. And what's Yeah, and a very interesting ADC pickup here in the Caitlyn because a lot of times when you pick Caitlyn, you're basically wanting to win lane, and it looks like the team here of Defiant is wanting to make sure that their bot lane doesn't fall too far behind, being able to get that early lane pressure, so is able to allow them to have more map pressure in order to get through this early game that is a little bit atrocious for AD carries right now. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see. We do see a Maokai ban as well, and then Lux, Gods of Demacia, banning out a lot of Demacian picks here. You gotta wonder if it's a little been a little bit of a bait. Have we all been baited? Yeah, absolutely. It is kind of a little weird to deal with because it is a point and click stun or snare. So maybe they just wanted to ban out the ease of use here and force them to use more mechanically based champions. And we do see Fiora here, who we've seen the Shy over in the what is it, the LPL, able to absolutely demolish with this kind of pick. So probably just looking to force them to play. Mm. Yeah, Jinx voted most likely to get pentakills by anyone in the ADC school of college or university, whichever you want to call it. Jinx can absolutely demolish team fights. The one thing that I'm curious though is that we see a Leona and a Vi here. I see three great champions here, but I see a lot more skirmishing pick potential with the Vi, the Diana, and the Fiora. So I don't know how much team fighting they're going to be able to pull around this Jinx here. Absolutely. Right. They Yeah, they don't have a lot of tankiness. I mean, they picked a Teemo top lane. When you pick Teemo top lane, you're usually wanting to see a more tanky jungler like Sejuani or something like that. But there's not a. Yeah, and I would have liked to see this comp from Defiant if Gods of Demacia had picked more of a super late game of like four tanks plus Jinx, but they picked a lot of early game power. Bran has a lot of early game potential, especially with his Cataclysm that does absolute massive damage in the mid game. So I wonder if they're going to try and close this game out early. Morgana Caitlyn, one of the strongest bot lane duos that we see here in League of Legends. So it is going to be interesting to see what they're going to be able to come up with, if they're going to be able to get that early lane pressure in order to then translate that into a win here. Yeah, and Master Yi's ultimate only counteracts slows. You can still get stunned and snared as Master Yi, and I see the Vi able to completely lock down the Master Yi. Um, Yeah, absolutely. There's just too much CC on the side here from Gods of Demacia. Quick shout out too. We do see XX Howling XX being subbed in here, playing the Leona. Howling is one of the primary casters for the ESDL, so it'll be interesting to see him actually taking a player focus here in this game. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. This will definitely be interesting to see here. Now, we do have a little bit of delay for competitive integrity here. So just a short 3-minute delay, and then as soon as that's over, we will be jumping into the game in order to see everything that's going on and be able to call this game for you. What couple final thoughts going into this. Diana is a very strong champion. She was S plus tier in the mid lane, even starting to make her way into the jungle. So I'm looking towards Hoagie Buns on this Diana to see if he can pull this game away and just basically 1v9 it. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Let's see here, getting everything loaded up.
Yep,
All
we're
right, looks
loading
like
into game now.
game is being loaded into here. It's going to be exciting to see what we're going to have going on. Get this
Yeah,
loading screen.
I'm just really looking into this early game, trying to get this. The dragon control, I think, is going to be a really hard thing from the side of Demacia because they do have the Vi and Diana who are strong in the early game as well as late, but the Jinx and Leona are not going to be the most online pre-6, as Leona's, a lot of her power does come from her ultimate, and Jinx, like I said, does need the 2 to 3 item power spike for her to really do anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Until Jinx gets Hurricane, we're not going to see a whole lot of team fighting out of her, and she will be relatively squishy. So it's going to be all Leona to be able to get these to get the peeling off of her. But again, I mean, it's just against a Master Yi who can be locked down, and Brand a very immobile champion. So if they stay at range, then you do have a little bit of an advantage here. But we'll have to see how it all plays out for sure. All right, and looks like the game has started up here. We are ready to go. This is going to be a match between Gods of Demacia on the blue side. The red side going to be taken base in by the Defiant team. So very interesting to see what we're going to come up with here.
Alrighty, looks like they are headed into the map here. Pings from Defiant are trying to get the 5-point, I believe. Hold their 5-point positions, get as much vision as possible, but it does look like Gods of Demacia are looking for an early invade here.
Oh, are we gonna get? Is the Brand gonna get caught out? No, just gonna drop his Pillar of Flame and walk away. That was a little bit exciting there. We have not yet seen an invade in the ESDL. I would have been very interested to see what we could have come up with there.
Appear that they may be moving down through the bot side river. Walking up out of vision. They are not seen here.
The Morgana is in the bush. Are they going to be checked here? It looks like a little bit of AFK. The Morgana was not ready for the Ignite. Does come down, and it's going to be first blood over here to the Fiora.
Wow. I mean, in this match, you have to be paying attention in those situations. You can't, even after they did threaten the engage and backed off, you can't just give it up.
Yeah, I mean, this is an official ESDL match. You got to wonder what was going through the Morgana's head in that. But going to be an early first blood for the Fiora, and that's going to do wonders for her there in the top lane.
Yeah, that's going to be very, very detrimental for this Teemo, as Fiora obviously does lose that 1v1, but if she can get that little bit of extra gold, the sooner she gets her items, the better she can deal with this Teemo.
Yeah, and it does look like the blue buff is going to be successfully stolen away here. So Gods of Demacia already, with the strategic outplays, really trying to get an early lead and denying any kind of potential win for this Defiant team comp, which is very difficult to execute.
Yes, of course. We see a little bit of poke coming down from Brand. He looks like he's trying to zone her off of this first wave, try and get that level 2 priority on her. But Gods of Demacia are giving up in this bot lane a little bit, trying to relieve some of that pressure.
Yeah, bonding does come out from the Morgana, will not connect, so Leona just free to go ahead and get level 2 as quickly as possible. Huge power spike. Teemo is pushing in here to the top lane. Fiore's is going to be able to catch this farm easily.
If she's just going to sit underneath this tower and farm, it's about all she can do with the Teemo being a lane bully that he is. But I do believe if she does get some resistances early, she can deal with him. Such as the Merc Treads will lower the time of that blind that she can actually duel him.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what is interesting is I did not see Fiora go back to base and buy, spending that first blood gold. She just walked right up to the top lane, so relatively still even in this top lane. Diana is going to go in for a little bit of a trade onto the Bran, just a little bit of poke damage here, but Bran's still winning in the health lead there.
Yep, still just doing a little bit of a slow early game as expected for now. I do expect to see some Vi pressure as she is walking up into the top lane. Teemo is pushing this lane pretty hard, doesn't have any vision on her. But she is just going to turn around, look for this Master Yi in the jungle.
Yeah, absolutely. And is going to be able to find him out. Is able to get the procs off. We just need one more auto flash away from both players here. The Blast Cone is going to get the Master Yi to safety, barely living with just a sliver of health. Only 39 health gets away from the Vi.
That was a question. It almost worked out, but that was still a questionable play, in my opinion, from the Vi. I believe she could have just walked up top lane.
Oh, but we do have a fight here in the mid lane. The Ignite just come out for the Diana, and it's going to be a kill here in the mid lane. Picked up onto the Brand. Diana just forcing her way through that lane.
That's going to be huge for her. The Brand has no kill potential on her now. He has no Ignite. She's going to have an XP and gold lead. She should be able to just run this guy down the lane from now on.
Yeah, absolutely. Not sure what the Brand was thinking. Maybe just a little overconfident from those early trades.
I do believe, though, as I was saying, this Vi, if she would have just ganked top and ran at that Teemo, I believe they could have forced the flash out and given Fiora able to push the lane and spend that first blood gold. Instead, she's having to slow push the lane.
Yeah, absolutely. But Master Yi does fancy himself a little bit of a gank here. Going in, flash forward, use. That's going to be the burning, and the stun gust come through. That will be a kill over to the Brand. Vi, is he going to be able to clean anything up? No, it's not. The Brand will focus away, but the minions are doing a lot of trade return damage. But good gank presence here from that Master Yi, catching the Diana, overstaying.
It was a good rotation from the Vi to try and make up for it, but that Diana was way too low and way out of position up there. She should not have been that far up with that low health and no flash.
Yeah, absolutely not. As soon as you get a kill, just go back and spin your gold and be GG.
Yep. Looks like Vi is going to try and hold this mid lane. There are no sums on either the mid laners or the junglers, just their smites. So that is going to come into play. Should be a little bit slower of a gameplay from Brand, but Diana's going to try and capitalize on him having no flash here, hopefully.
Yeah, and that little bit of overstay. Diana is low in the farm game now, having to should be able to pick this farm up, but still, you know, about a full wave behind because of that overstay.
Yeah, and that's going to hurt her bad because she's already having hard enough trouble farming as it is versus a Brand. And now she is down in XP and gold versus him.
Yeah, you gotta imagine once level 6 comes around, Diana's gonna be a dead Moonlight warrior.
Looks like Vi's ganking bot here. He's gonna get binded by the Morgana.
Good slow coming out. Traps being used, and the Caitlyn does use the net to be able to get away, so just a little bit of a dissuasion there. Brand does land the stun on the Diana in the mid lane, has a huge trade on her. Half health gone in one full spell's rotation.
You have to look at this too. The Diana does have half health, but she's got the potions to heal herself back up, and she does have a very large mana advantage. Brand's got about 2 spells left in him, and after that, he's going to be looking a little rough here.
Yeah, absolutely. The stun does land, though. The Comet does come down for some more damage. The potion just kind of being eaten away there, not really getting its full effect.
Looks like he is just going to use that poke to get himself a recall, but maybe he's going to go down towards this dragon.
Yeah, a little bit of an early dragon here. This is pretty ambitious. We're going to see what Morgana Bind does land onto the Vi. Going to get some damage. The honey fruit is collected here by the Jinx, but this is a collapse here. I do not favor Gods of Demacia. They are going to go in. The Brand does drop the Cataclysm. That's going to be 2 down already on the side. Leona is going in, trying to get some damage on the Ignite. Does come down to the Caitlyn, but it's not going to be able to solo out because it does not have the items. And that is a 4-for-0, a clean fight here coming out of Defiant.
I do not know what gods of Demacia were doing there exactly. There was no reason to start the dragon. They had no idea where the Master Yi was. They didn't know if Brand was back here or not, and Leona was completely out of position there. She was nowhere near the rest of the team, and she got picked off 2v1 at the end there.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a couple question mark plays for sure. They just didn't have the priority to be able to make that dragon move.
Especially versus the Brand's ultimate, as it does bounce from target to target, and it can proc all of his abilities passives, including his own passive, which will proc off of one another, and will just melt your entire team if you're that close together.
Yeah, it's pretty much a Brand's wet dream right there, absolutely.
Now we're going to see Brand with 2 kills and 2 assists, same with the Master Yi. Both of them are going to be far ahead in gold. Brand does start with the Sorcerer Shoes here. I believe that's a little interesting from him.
Yeah,
You usually do not see a Sorcerer Shoes rush out of any laner.
Yeah, I would have liked to see the Lost Chapter there at least.
Lost Chapter would have been much better, as he is having a lot of trouble with his mana. You can see he does pick up the Sapphire Crystal, but I do not think that's going to be enough.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of a misbuy, but just maybe some first game nerves coming through here. This could be the first game for this Brand, just maybe not 100% able to capitalize on it. So we'll give him 1 pass, but he only gets 1.
He could be looking for the mobility out of it, trying to get some roams off, but that's as far as I can see with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And look at the farm. Now Diana is up in farm. Brand spending a little bit too much time in the base, so is able to at least stay somewhat relevant.
I want to pay some attention up to Fiora in this top lane, as she has not given a kill to this Teemo yet, and has managed to stay even in CS, if not up a couple, without even getting her first blood buy-off. She hasn't backed yet, and she's still holding her own in this lane just fine.
She's on her little island alone, but we do see a little bit of an invade coming here from the Teemo and the Master Yi. The Vi is going to use the flash to get away. Fiora, I don't know what you're doing. That's a little bit of a 2v1. Kyotsukuteru, as they say in Japanese. Diana is making her way up. This could be an outnumber fight, though, if they do manage to collapse. Teemo is able to clear out some vision.
Teemo knows that she is there. If he walks up at all, Fiora can go in on this.
Teemo, you still have people there. This is going to be a little slow coming out from the Fiora. Diana is going to be able to land her abilities. The flash is away from the Teemo to get to safety. Fiora going to use the Q to get a little bit more damage, but that is going to be enough to dissuade the dive there.
It's a very big trade. It is the Teemo flash, but it's also the Diana and the Fiora ultimate, so Fiora will not be able to duel him for a while, and Diana will not be able to just jump in on this Brand, I don't believe, if she doesn't have that ultimate to assist her.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Brand just kind of chilling out in this area. Does land the Pillars of Flame and the stun onto the Vi. Is going to be able to pop some more damage. The Ignite has come down, and there's just too much damage. The Vi is already gone, and the Diana should surely fall. No, the Blast Cone will get her away. You got to imagine what's kind of going through the heads here of the gods of Demacia. They were so close and actually had the advantage if they had just played a little bit.
For the dive here. No, it looks like he's just going to throw her on spell and back off. I believe Master Yi could have gotten that second kill for them, but as soon as he came out of his alpha, he was just standing still. I'm not sure what happened there, but they are going to pick up the Rift Herald as another bonus.
Yeah, it makes you wonder a little bit about what the strategy call was coming in. Probably a little bit of disparity between the communication coming out from the gods of Demacia, because they did have a collapse, but I think they just stuck around a little too long and allowed Defiant to come around and capitalize on that overstay.
See, Fiora's back here. She gets quite a bit of items. She gets a Tiamat and the Vampiric Scepter, which is going to help her sustain in that lane a lot. Both items do come with a little bit of healing.
Yeah. Ultimate used by the Jinx here. Not really sure, but Vi does come over to the top lane. Is he going to be able to get the catch in? No, Teemo will just pop his little movement speed and says, I'm a little scout. I'll run away just fine. Don't worry about me.
That Jinx ultimate in the bottom lane was a little bit interesting, as it does the more damage, the lower HP that they are. Brand is in this bush here. They see him, so they should stay back a little bit.
Yeah, Brand is spotted out. The Rift Herald is going to be dropped here. Looks like they're going to be able to try and get some pressure onto the bot lane, crack that tower first, and extend this lead that the Caitlyn does have over the Jinx with this 12 CS lead. Lots of plates coming down. Is the Leona going to be able to get a counter gank? No, it does get stunned up, and that is going to be a lot of damage coming out of the Leona. The heal does come out, but is it going to be enough? The ultimate from the Caitlyn will be enough. Jinx is unable to block it, but Diana is here. She could be able to get the killing. If the ultimate is used, shutdown going over to the Diana. That is a double kill. Are we going to be able to see a triple kill coming onto the Caitlyn? Yes, the Ignite does come out. Is it going to be the damage? Yes, triple kill onto the Diana, coming up huge savior for her team.
That is huge. for Gods of Demacia, getting Diana back online. She was strong in the early game with a nice early kill, but since then she had kind of spiraled out of control a little bit. But now she's going to pick up the Gnasher's Tooth, which is a very large power spike for the champion. Going to be able to see what type of damage she's able to do here.
Yeah, absolutely. Went ahead and got the Gnasher's Tooth over completing the boots and getting just pieces of the Gnashers, so does value that big item power spike here for the Diana.
First back, he pops a TP, and he does pick up a Gnasher's Tooth as his first item. So Fior's going to be very careful of that as he's looking to go in on her here.
Yeah, but the Fiora does use the dash away. That should be enough to dissuade Teemo from going in any further. And the Dragon is started up by the Vi here. They really are prioritizing these Dragons. I just don't know if they have the proper setup to be able to execute it properly.
I don't think so. Master Yi is here, and he is quite strong. He has that Blood Razor completed.
Yeah,
already.
A little bit dissuaded. Leona is able to zone Master Yi successfully. So Ocean Dragon over to Gods of Demacia here. Oh, and the Brand lands a huge pillar on two people.
Slowing down a little bit for Gods of Demacia, which is what they want. After that triple kill, they need to just play as slow as they can, get this Jinx to get a couple items here so she can be able to be some sort of a threat to the enemy team. As Caitlyn does have the Storm Razor completed, which is a very big threat with the slows that it comes with.
Yeah, absolutely. That one slow is enough to basically do a full shot combo with the Caitlyn specifically.
Master Yi does invade the red here. Vi doesn't pay attention to it, so she is going to be walking over there. He does have the flank on them here, though.
Yeah, the flank is coming through. Morgana's a little hanging back. Are we going to see? No, the teammates are not in position to go for the dive here onto the bot lane.
Gods of Demacia's vision they've got down here, though. The only gank that did work was the one with the Rift Herald, but other than that, they've been able to steer away from most pressure that's been brought down here.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of back and forth coming up, too. It's definitely been interesting in this game.
It does not appear like one team is in the lead control, although Defiant does have a 2k gold lead about here on Gods of Demacia, but Gods of Demacia do have the major scaling here in comparison. But Vi's getting caught out right
yeah, the Vi is caught out. The Brand does step in front of the Vi to be able to dissuade that knockup, and the damage has come through. Ultimate use, Cataclysm popping up. Those passives do absolute huge damage onto the Vi and the Diana, taking those two players out.
Sure what the Vi was doing there. There was nothing to grab over in that side of the jungle that she could see. She has her entire top jungle alive still. But she does walk in without having any vision on anybody, and that gets her picked and the Diana.
Yeah, you gotta wonder what was going through the mindset of the Vi there. Maybe just trying to be a little bit too greedy and picking up things that never really were hers. Some people call that illegal. The huge damage onto the Jinx, the full Q, and the Morgana binding landing. That's gonna chuck her out to 1/4 HP.
As you can see here, Morgana is building the Lost Chapter, so I believe she's going to be going a bit of a strong, more mage-type build, rather than the Zhonya's Rush, which is a more standard Morgana item, as you compare it with your ultimates. But the Lost Chapter is going to provide for some extra damage for the side of Defiant here, which I'm not 100% sure that they need.
Yeah, and that's going to be the first turret falling here for the side of Defiant. Able to start a little bit of a snowball going now. We see that gold lead expanded to about 3,500. So if they can keep up this pressure and keep this gold lead ballooning like it is, then I can imagine a world in which they are able to run away with this game before Gods of Demacia can scale up.
This is somewhat of what I expected from Gods of Demacia to be behind in the early game, but not this bad. They can't have a strong Brand and Master Yi. Those are the two strongest scaling members on the sides of Defiant. And they're the two strongest. So that is going to be very scary for Defiant or Gods of Demacia here, as they're both very strong team fighters as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Master Yi is deceptively annoying to be able to deal with. Once he gets a couple items going, nowadays Master Yi's just build whatever they want that has attack speed and damage. Could be Ginso's Rage Blade, could be an Infinity Edge. Doesn't really matter at this point, but.
He could be going for the Bork here to help him deal some damage to this Leona, who appears to be going quite heavy on the armor. But might not be the wisest, as they do have 3 AP threats on the sides of Defiant.
Yeah, not really sure what's going through the strategic mindset here, but the Rift Herald is going to be started up here. Looks like Master Yi is just going to be able to take that away. But there is a little bit of a collapse going on. Is that going to be dissuaded? Teemo coming in from the top lane, Caitlyn making her way up from the mid lane as well. The Fiora has used the boom plant in, and that is going to be Master Yi shut down. Huge damage coming out from Fiora. Oh my goodness, double kill over to the Diana, and that looks like it's going to be a clean ace, but no, Brand able to turn a little bit of damage onto the Leona. The heal is going to be used to keep the Leona alive, but does the chase still continue? No, Brand is going to be able to drop those pillars of fire and dissuade that. Huge damage, Vi going in with the ultimate, trying to lock down the Caitlyn, and the huge ultimate from the Jinx is able to get some kills there, able to take out the Brand, and that is a good team fight from the gods of Demacia. Maybe a little bit too slow played, but still well done.
That was a very big pickup for gods of Demacia. They do get the Rift here. If they put it down, they might be able to get this tier 2 tower cracked.
Yeah, and Caitlyn is not supposed to. That is illegal from the Caitlyn. Yeah, that is absolutely illegal. Caitlyn is not allowed to stay when there's 4 people pushing on your tower.
So they do not drop the Rift Herald because Vi was the one holding it, and she was the one that went down in that final engage there. But it's still a huge pickup for gods of Demacia. They bring the gold from 3.5k to only about 400 gold in favor of Defiant now.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely bringing it back. Now we start to see a little bit of the corner turn, that team fighting prowess with Leona able to show up here, because as you see, we talked about it earlier, there are no tanks on the side of Defiant, so they are on a time clock basically to close out this game.
Jinx does pick up the Infinity Edge here, which is going to be very strong. Not sure what Diana's going for here with the recurve bow, the pickaxe, and an amplifying tome, as well as a sapphire crystal.
That looks like a Ginso's Rage Blade build. I'm not sure what's going on there, but we do have the Leona wanting to go in. Onto the ultimate is going to be used, and the Zenith Blade is going to be able to lock down some of the targets here. Morgana going low, goes into the Zanyas, but the ultimate is used from the Brand here, able to get some huge damage coming out. Oh my goodness, just burning people and exploding them, but the Brand will eventually go down to the Diana here, and it's just a 1v1 between Master Yi and Diana, who's going to be able to get it. Diana is able to pick up the kills here. Triple kill over to Diana again. 4 for 1.
That was a 5v4 in favor of gods of Demacia. Not sure why Defiant did not just back off after they lost control of the pit when the dragon was that low.
Yeah.
After Leona ulti missed and everything, they could have just walked it out, I believe.
Yeah, they could have just walked away. I mean, but they did favor the Brand damage, and we did see a little bit of that coming up, but the team did decide to disperse gods of Demacia and not allowing that full amount of damage the Brand can put out to come through.
Something interesting I'm seeing here is double ninja tabbies coming out from Vi and the Fiora. I can understand the Vi's pickup as she is worried by the Master Yi, as she wants to become a little bit tankier, able to deal with them, I guess. But the Fiora versus the Teemo lane, picking up the ninja tabbies is going to be very interesting, as the Merc Shards, I believe, would have been a much better option.
Yeah, absolutely. We were talking about that earlier. I'm not really sure what's going through the mind here of the Fiora. Maybe just following a specific item build here, just kind of tunnel visioning onto that. But the tower does fall here in the mid lane, and that is going to be all tier 1 turrets down for the side of gods of Demacia, getting pushed back in their base a little much, so we do see some extension from Defiant here.
Herald is about 75% of the way used up, so gods of Demacia are going to have to drop it soon.
Teemo's going in on Fiora, but the Fiora does bop at the ult, and that's going to be enough damage to be able to take out the Teemo. And we do see another kill over here in the bot lane coming out. I see gods of Demacia starting to be able to turn this corner. 2 dead, but the Vi does fall again. 0 and 6 on the Vi.
What the Brand is doing in that position, though, is they did have a ward there, seeing all 4 members of gods of Demacia. Now, getting that pick on the Vi is not worth too much, as I do not believe she's worth full gold currently. But that Brand definitely is a large factor for Defiant, and him being off the map is going to give them a bunch of pressure.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's just going to be more gold into the pockets of the Jinx, into the pockets of Diana, who are going to be these huge carries when it comes to later portions of these team fights. So just continuing to be caught out here is not going to be the correct strategy coming out of Defiant. I feel like they have to start rotating more as a team, laying down that vision in order to be able to push their advantages that they did get up in the early game.
Yes, and gods of Demacia are scaling heavily here as Diana's picking up. She's up to 2 items now. Fiora is almost done with the Stinger, I believe, on her Triforce that she's building towards. So Defiant's going to have to be careful towards this and try and get some good team fights with the Brand ultimate, or they're just going to be spiraling out of control.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems like this game is starting to come to the point where it is going to be on a knife's edge. We do see the bot tier 1 tower falling for Gods of Demacia getting some more global gold back into their pockets. I'm
I
a
believe
little.
there was a panic rotator top lane as it looks like it was just dropped up there and then it just died. So nothing came of that really.
Yeah, but it does look like all tier 1 turrets are down for both teams, so the map is definitely a lot more open than it was before. Looking to see what this Vi, does she favor herself wanting to go in against this Caitlyn? Now I just want to clear out the wave.
Now it appears that Diana is picking up a Lich Bane. This is a very unconventional Diana build, I have to say, as I believe if she just went a Luden's Echo instead of that Goonsus would have been much more favorable.
Yeah, not sure, but this looks like Caitlyn's going to be called out. Flash forward here, coming over to XX Howling, ultimate drop, and that is going to be the Jinx picking up the huge kill onto the Caitlyn here. That's just going to mean she's going to scale harder and harder and harder. Already has the crit cloak, so got to imagine the Rune Dance is going to be coming out next.
Here. I believe they should have just ran to the Baron as Brand is bot with no teleport on him, and they pick out the Caitlyn. But it appears they're going to be looking down for some vision onto this dragon.
Yeah, favoring the dragon possibly. Let's see. We do have a Cloud Dragon is going to be the Dragon Soul. So, and we do have a little bit of a DC. Probably.
Can we pause?
Yes, we can pause. We will let this play out just a little bit. Okay, the Jinx is able to make it back. Looked like it's just a little bit of packet loss error.
Okay.
Everybody on quarantine trying to do some things, you know. But Fiora does want to go in on this Teemo here. Is able to slow the Teemo. The flash is going to be used from the Teemo. Fiora going in, using all of her buttons, able to get a lot of damage out. Is going to be able to Q forward here. Is she going to be able to catch the Teemo fully, though? The Teemo might be able to run away. We got another Q coming out, and that is going to be the Teemo falling again to the Fiora in this matchup where she's supposed to be counterpicked, able to outplay the Teemo.
Yeah, I believe this was a mistake in the eyes of Defiant. He does not look like a very resident Teemo player, as he is not able to win one of Teemo's most favorable matchups in the top lane against the Fiora, as she is just demolishing him with her 5-1-2 scoreline. She's got a 300 gold bounty on her head now.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's going to be Cloud Drake picked up, so they are on soul point now. Diana is able to land the Q. Does it favor herself to go in? No, but the Morgana and the Master Yi are on the way, favoring a little bit of a collapse here.
What I want to see from Gods of Demacia to help them finish out this game is I want to see Diana pick up a few more tanky items. I don't like the Triforce from her, as she is very behind in gold compared to the rest of the game. And it would just be a strong threat for her if she can get in the backline and just bother the carries without dying. I also want to see Gods of Demacia pick up some vision around this Baron, as it is completely dark for them over there. Defiant could pick it up while they're doing a 5-man recall here in vision.
Yeah, 5-man recall in vision with the wave there, so they all are able to realize that the wave is there, get that free gold that's standing there for them. I would imagine they would start making their way over to Baron on the side of Defiant.
And the threat from Defiant is very large for this Baron, as Master Yi obviously does high damage whenever he just gets to sit there and auto attack, as well as the Brand passive, and Vi goes down there, not sure what she is doing.
Vi just kind of falls automatically, just getting caught out there. You gotta imagine what's kind of going through the head of this Vi. Is she just trying to say GG go next, or what?
25 minutes into the game, you cannot be getting caught out like that while Baron is up and you don't have all of your lanes pushed even. Your jungler going down can just completely lose you the Baron.
Yeah, absolutely. But it doesn't look like the Baron is going to be pressured. They do favor themselves to go onto this tier 2 mid turret before going over to the Baron. Binding from the Morgana just going to barely run out of range here.
Now, I do not like this Master Yi being in the bottom lane. I never like it whenever junglers decide to push bot while the Baron is up. But Leona hits the ultimate, Caitlyn flashes out to safety. It's going to be a lot of burst damage from, and the random heal comes out from Jinx, trying to give them some more sustain, I believe, but might have been a little bit hasty because she can use that as one of her kite tools. Yeah, maybe just wanted to get a little bit more rotation speed onto this Master Yi, who might be caught out just a little bit, but ultimate is down from the Leona. Are they going to be able to reach it? No, flash away use from the Master Yi, though, is going to be big. Maybe an unnecessary flash. I believe he was out there. Even if that Jinx W hit him, it doesn't slow because his ultimate counteracts that.
Yeah.
A little bit hasty from him. That flash could have been used to stop this Jinx in the backline from just getting her auto attacks off.
Yeah, because if we do see Jinx getting 1 kill or assist in these team fights, she will take over the game. So Defiant is going to be looking to shut her down before any other kills fall.
Now Defiant is being very strong in their vision over the map. As you can see here, they are winning in the vision game by far. They just lost their top scuttle, but they have a bot one as well. They also have pretty deep mushrooms into the enemy jungler and into the enemy jungle. So hopefully they should be seeing everything that is going on around this Baron, as they're losing their vision out there, it appears.
Yeah, vision is going to be cleared up a little bit. But the siege still wants to be put in here on this tier 2 mid tower. Master Yi just kind of poking in and out, trying to draw as much pressure as he can.
Yes, it appears that there's about 1:30 left on this Cloud Drake coming up. Both teams are looking to get pretty strong vision around this. Now, I would not be focusing this as much as they are, in my opinion, as Cloud Drake is believed to be the weaker of the dragons.
Yeah, maybe just one of the extra stats, but the Master Yi does use the Bloom Cannon to go over, and that's going to be the ult coming out from the Vi. The Alpha Strike coming out, able to sustain a little bit longer, but the ultimate is going to whiff from the Jinx, and that is already 3 dead on the side of Gods of Demacia. That is a 4 for 1. Absolute just
thought they had a pick there, but that's just disastrous with the Brand ultimate. They can't just group up like that, even if they do think they have a pick there.
Absolutely, that Alpha Strike, crucial. Basically giving them just 0.5 seconds enough time to be able to survive, and Brand for coming and dump all of his damage was just enough, so...
Maybe an inhib tower here for Defiant, as they're pushing in. Teemo should break this top tower tier 2 by himself up there with that huge wave he has. And it looks like they might even lose this Cloud Drake as well with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a little bit of an overconfidence play here coming from the side of Gods of Demacia.
Now make sure Defiant does not overstay here, as all of Gods of Demacia is back up. They need to walk away after that tower and go and get themselves some vision over this dragon. Try to keep Gods of Demacia from getting this soul.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you definitely don't want a fully stacked Cloud Dragon soul. Oh, but we do have... Vi is going to be caught out again. Absolutely. Flash forward coming out for the Diana. Is going to be able to get enough stuns. Yes, it is going to come with the damage, but the Brand does fall. Caitlyn soon to fall after, hopefully, but the Fiora is here. Leona does fall to the Master Yi. So a little bit of trading back and forth here. I would have loved to see the Diana stay alive a little longer, but just face rolled into the Brand's damage.
Brand damage from the grave even is able to drop insane damage, and it looks like it's going to be the Dragon in favor of Defiant here, as their only way into the pit really is going to be this Fiora, but they do not have the smite. And the Dragon does go over to Defiant to stop the soul from Gods of Demacia.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a crucial pickup here. Because if we do see the ultimate cooldown Dragon Soul going over to the side of the Master Yi, you gotta imagine that's going to be just Master Yi steamrolling over these team fights.
Now to look at everybody's items, it looks like Diana is going to be building the Morel, which I do not believe is the greatest item here, because about all the healing that Defiant has is that Bork on the Master Yi. Leandries would look much better here for more sustained damage versus the Morel, which is going to be seemingly useless in my opinion here.
Yeah, just a little bit of a miss item build here for sure.
We do see Jinx pick up the Renance Hurricane, so she's going to be even harder to look out for here, as she is going to have the bigger auto attacks in these team fights, which is one of her bigger power spikes.
Yeah, but the Vi is going in, but the Brand, how much damage is still not going to be enough? The Vi is basically 0 and 10 at this point. You got to imagine what's going through the head of this Vi. Brand just pushes all of his buttons and kills her, even after the ultimate being burned.
Yes, I'm not sure what she thinks she's doing here.
Oh, but we do have a little bit of a catch out here. Leona going to be able to go in. Ultimate used by the Fiora, and that's going to be huge damage coming out of the side. Jinx just free firing here on the back line. Don't go into melee range. That's not your job, but still able to get the kills pulling out here.
I would like them to turn onto the Baron here, as it is just Master Yi who did use his ulti on the Diana up there. But it looks like they're just going to be shoving out these lanes here, not pulling the plug on the Baron right now, as Vi would be up for the smite, I believe.
Yeah, a little interesting. I would have gone directly to Baron. That's 4 dead. Even with the Master Yi still, you could have just baited that out a little bit, but the call will be to back off and reset, spin that gold that they got.
If they do pop the Blast Cone, Master Yi's only way into the pit is that flash, and that is a very big commitment for him to have to do there.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's pretty much feast or famine at that point.
Vi is 3 levels down on the Master Yi, though, so maybe that's what they were looking for there. with the very large difference in the smite between the two of them.
Yeah, and as far as level leads go, Brand is still up in levels. We do see the Fiora, however, biggest level in the game at level 17, and is doing a lot of split pushing here, but might be caught out here. Here comes the Brand, is able to dodge away from that, so the stun's not going to come through. Flash coming through for the Fiora. Flash forward from the Teemo is going to be able to get the damage, but the parry does come through, be able to dissuade some more of that damage, but a little bit too slow. Caitlyn ult going to be able to pick the kill up. No, almost. But the Diana is on the way. Is she going to be able to save her teammate? Does go in, using the ultimate to get the Brand down. Does she have the damage for it? No, Brand uses all of his buttons. Cataclysm is coming out, but is going to be able to pick up the return kill. Teemo able to make it out of the way, but Diana trading 1 for 2. I'm not sure if that was worth.
People do not know here either. I would like to see, instead of this Lich Bane, as
oh, but the Vi wanted to go in on the Morgana here in the bot lane. Exhaust coming, use flash forward. Vi picks up her first kill of the game. Gotta imagine that mental fortitude. Finally, seeing some life out of this jungler.
With the Morgana earlier, I would like to see. I do see the Zhonya's from her now, but I would like to see it from Diana, as Zhonya's is one of her strongest items, as she can use it and pair it with her ultimate as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Ultimate being used on the side of the Leona here. Teemo is going to be able to fall here to the Jinx, so Jinx picking up another crucial kill, building up that second Zeal item. If that comes through for the Phantom Dancer or even a Static Shiv, you got to imagine Jinx is going to be huge in these team fights if they can get one.
Most definitely. She is the biggest threat, in my opinion, from the side of Gods and Demacia. While Diana does have that 15-kill lead and Fiora has the strong split push potential, Jinx will just melt everybody in these team fights if she can stay away from that Brand ultimate.
Yeah, key. Stay away from Brand. Don't go in until Master Yi uses his Alpha Strike. And then you have potential to be able to do something here. Running into 2 mushrooms, though, is not going to be favorable. Yeah.
I would like to see the QSS from the Jinx here later on in this, as she can cleanse the blind from the Teemo and lots of the CC from Morgana.
Yeah, absolutely. Morgana binding does usually spell disaster for 80 carries in the late game because the snare is just too long.
Yes, along with her ultimate, and Brand does have the CC as well, so as Caitlyn traps. If she does walk over one of those, it can completely ruin a fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Morgana bind gonna land on Leona, just waiting any kind of engage, but Fiora making her way up here into the jungle bush. Flash forward out here, used from the Diana, is gonna be having another damage. Ultimate comes down onto the Brand. Brand will fall. Diana trading her life for the mid lane carry here. You gotta imagine wondering what the flick here is. They're gonna be able to put the game on the back of the Jinx here, now making its way over to the Dragon. Dragon is up, and the huge amount of mushrooms onto the side from Defiant here. You gotta imagine what's gonna be the play here. Dragon looks like it will fall, but the Blast Gun is gonna be able to use. Leona unfortunately didn't be able to catch, but the huge damage coming out from the side of Jinx. That is gonna be Zhonya's used up here by the Morgana, and unfortunately Leona took the Blast Cone in the wrong direction and wasn't there with her team, so that's gonna be a pickup here. Double kill onto the Caitlyn. Oh, you gotta be heartbroken after that as the Gods of Demacia.
Now, it looks like Defiant is pinging this inhibitor, but once again, I would like to see them go to the Baron for once, as they can just get this for free. As both junglers are dead, they would not have to worry about a smite steal from Gods of Demacia.
Yeah, a little confusing here. I don't know what Baron Nashor has put into his Wheaties for this game, but he apparently is looking a lot more terrifying to these teams than we're seeing here.
And it does have the flank on this Caitlyn here. Might have been an overstay.
Yeah, a little bit of an overstay. Does miss the Q here. Is going to be able to get the shutdown, though. Caitlyn almost had the outplay, but Diana able to sidestep the isolated Q damage there.
Now, I want to look at this Brand right now, though, as he does have his 4th item, which is the Rabadon's Death Cap finished here. So he's going to be a huge threat, as he's almost full build in this game right now. He is going to be just one-shotting everybody on the sides of Gods of Demacia.
Yeah, absolutely. Diana, Jinx, even the Vi, maybe even the Fiora can all potentially just fall for a one-shot combo to the Brand. Potentially all at the same time with how Brand works, as you know.
Of course. This is one of the highest kill games I have seen, though. 63 kills across the board here. Soul point for both teams. So this next Dragon is going to be a big one. And the team that wins this next Dragon fight, if it is Defiant, they could just push in this mid lane and end the game if they get a strong enough fight.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to imagine one more ace team fight is going to be the dissuasion there. But we do have a little bit of a dancing here in the mid lane. This is an outnumber fight. Looks like Morgana and Me might be caught out just a little bit if they can get the engage. No, they're just going to go for the wave. Had a little bit of an opportunity there.
I would have liked them to see them pull the trigger there with the Brand being in the side lane as well as the Teemo. Brand, Defiant's biggest damage dealer, is not there, so I would have loved to see Gods of Demacia go in on that, as I believe they would have just had a field day with them.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like that should have been the call. Did you see some vision being cleared out?
So we do see the Zonius coming out from the Diana now. This Leona build is looking a little different to me, as you usually see the Gargoyle Stone Plate on her to give her both of those resistances. So she just builds the 2 different items for it.
Oh, but the Leona just permanently stunned up there is going to be able to come through with the damage, but Caitlyn does fall to the Fiora here. Now that is a 1-for-1. This is an even team fight. Are we going to see the chase come through? Yes, we are, but that is a 3-man pillar. Fiora actually going to be able to eat up the ult there from the Brand, but the Diana does favor herself to go in. Absolutely demolishes the Brand now that the ultimate is down, and that is 2 down for the side of the fight. You got to imagine this is going to be Baron call with the jungler up, but no. Master Yi pushing into the bot lane here.
I believe Master Yi is going to be a scary enough threat for them that they are not going to pull the trigger on the Baron here. Vi almost goes down to the Morgana there. Don't know what she's doing.
Yeah.
When they could just pull the trigger on the Baron here, as Master Yi is bot lane, there's nobody to stop them.
Yeah, Flash 4 going to be used on the Diana.
It's going to go down still.
Yeah, I just... Oh, no.
He's walking into 2 shrooms here.
That's going to be enough damage. The Vi will fall to the Teemo, who is nowhere near, but 2 mushrooms will do it. Burn, baby, burn, as they say.
Still not picking up any magic resist after that, going for the Guardian's Angel, which is very interesting to me, as she has 0 magic resist in her build at all, and magic damage is the main threat on the sides of Defiant.
Yeah, absolutely. You got a little bit of misitemization here. Would have loved to see something a little different coming in, but you know, sometimes the item page is God, and you have to follow it to the T, or else you will not win the game.
We do see Diana hitting full build here, beating the Brand to the full build. Brand is going to finish his build with the Zonia's Hourglass. Morgana also almost completing her build. Jinx looks to be picking up an Essence Reaver here to maximize her crit damage.
Yeah, and that was just the stun coming out from the Brand. Half health.
60% of Jinx's health with that.
That was one ability. Oh my gosh.
Do you think if he gets his passive proc on her, she just dies, no matter whether she gets hit by the abilities or not? I believe she just touches that ultimate and gets the passive off on her. She is going to go down to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at the mushrooms into this dragon pit, controlling it. Both teams on soul point now. You got to imagine both of them making their way through. Diana maybe have caught up the Morgana a little bit here, but the Morgana is able to use the Black Shield and the Binding to be able to get away safely. But all those mushrooms eaten up, but they did do their damage. Fiora looks like she might even fall before she even got a chance to play in the team fight. No, is able to stay alive. Leona almost killed her teammate, though. Fiora just moved a little bit forward. But the Diana, one of the going for some more picks, is able to take out the Brand with huge damage. Just caught out there within vision.
That's going to make this dragon scary, because Fiora does have the teleport if they want to go in here.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here, but the ultimate flash is going to be coming out, and the ultimate does fall, but the Jinx is falling slowly. The ultimate is going to be able to fall down, and Master Yi, though, is able to pop up his ultimate and clean up the kills here.
Fiora doesn't teleport into this fight for some reason.
Gotta wonder what is going on here, but what is the Fiora going to do? Absolutely nothing. This is going to be Dragon Soul going over to the side of Defiant, able to clutch that game out, even with 2 members dead.
That is crazy. 3 dragons in a row from the sides of Defiant when they were down in gold. And now they've got a 6,000 gold lead. Doesn't mean too much at this point, as all carries are appearing to get the full build. But this Diana is very far behind in gold.
Yeah,
only has the 3 items completed.
Does have that, but the outplay is going to be able to come in. The Fiora does use the ultimate, is able to get... The healing is just too much coming out of the side of Master Yi. You got to imagine with the Fiora being down and then pushing in, that is going to be the inhibitor tower going down. Rylan, I need to point something out to you. Look at the side of Gods of Demacia. How many sweepers do you see?
That's what I wanted to touch on, too. There's 1 sweeper on the sides of Gods of Demacia. Versus 18, you need 2 at minimum. They need to pick up some pink wards. Nobody has any in their inventory on either side. I understand people are getting the full build, but even this Morgana, that extra 20 ability power is not worth dropping the wards. Yeah, that extra Dorn's Blade on the Caitlyn is not worth it. Teemo just doesn't have any. I don't know what they're doing here.
Yeah, one sweeper is not going to be enough to be able to take out this Vision and the Mushrooms coming in, but it looks like the Morgana is going to be able to use the Super Soaker onto the Leona just to be able to get away.
There's not even going to be any blue trinkets on either team sides. Oh, Teemo does pick one up, I see. But none on the side of Gods of Demacia. As those trinkets, you have to utilize those whenever you get to the level that you can use them.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's looking like there'll be some split pushing coming out of here from the Master Yi, though. Diana going to go in and able to get the kill onto the Brand here, but the Master Yi does fall to the Fiora in the bot lane. You got to imagine this is a 2 dead, 60 seconds. And we do have a Baron call actually coming through here. The Jinx will do a lot of damage to it.
The game, 42 minutes in. It's going to be the first.
Oh, and the Diana is going to be able to go in and get huge damage onto the Morgana, able to fall. Teemo will fall shortly after. Diana going to pop the Mushroom, though. The Caitlyn is the Caitlyn
steals the Baron.
No!
No smite coming out from the Diana. Or the Vine, excuse me.
Oh my.
Not sure what was going through the mind of her there. She let it get down to 1,000 health. And even below, and did not manage to smite at all. Almost goes down to the Teemo Mushroom, both of them.
I cannot believe that we just saw the first Baron call and immediately it's stolen by a Caitlyn.
And that's
nonetheless.
Why you need pink wards and a sweeper, because she had a ward there and she was just auto-attacking it over the wall and they couldn't do anything about it. They were just watching her auto-attack the Baron. If they would have swept that ward, she wouldn't have been able to do that.
Yeah, absolute devastating there. I can't imagine this.
Turning good for Gods of Demacia here as they
had their opening.
Already losing the 5v5s, but then they finally get a couple good picks here, start the Baron, and it goes down to the Caitlyn. Picks it up for her team. And they do have that inhibitor crack, so Baron-empowered super minions are going to be a struggle to deal with, as that buy inhib is also open.
Yeah, you gotta imagine that's gotta be disheartening here for the side of Gods of Demacia. But Jinx is trying to push up the wave, though. Might be caught out by the Master Yi here. Gonna be able to drop the traps and get some kills. No, Master Yi just deletes Jinx from the map. Absolutely destroys her. Traps not even used.
Full build Master Yi's gonna do to you whenever you're pushed out like
but
that.
the Vi does use the ultimate on the Master Yi, but the Alpha Strike does come in. Leona ultimate absolutely gonna whip, but we do see Diana going in for some huge damage. Is she gonna be able to clean up this team fight? Do we have a Zonius coming out? Fiora and Diana solo carrying this team on their backs, but the Cataclysm gonna be used here from the Brand. Able to, oh my goodness, there's so much damage coming out for the Diana. She's able to absolutely turn it around onto the Brand. Diana is taking this game on her back, 26-9. She says it doesn't matter that we lost Baron. We still want to win this game.
I can't believe that Diana was able to do that they let her do that fight. As Brand was out of position, not in the fight, the strongest person on the sides of Defiant, and they go in without him.
Yeah, you gotta imagine what's going in through the heads here, because it just, for me, it seems like they almost had the damage. They caught out Jinx, which was a huge damage source, but Diana, you can see so strong in this patch, just able to do so much damage and sustain it, especially with that Zonia's now being picked up.
What I would have liked to see from the side of Defiant is after they got that Jinx pick, I would have loved to see them push down into this bot inhib, as they did have Teemo pushing the top lane. They could have pushed bottom lane with that Caitlyn Baron and gotten that inhib and cracked the double inhib for the sides of Defiant and only had that top one left to deal with. But instead, they decided to pick up a team fight without their strongest member there, and Brand's past few ultimates have just been on one single person by themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Brand he's able to find damage on single targets, but Brand is more shining in these team fights and a little bit too spread out
recently.
Yeah, especially Gods of Demacia, they're just too spread out and all clumped up as 5 to be able to get the full damage coming through here. So we do see some sweepers. Finally, the Mushrooms are being cleaned out here.
Still only one on the side of Gods of Demacia, which you got to be wondering what's going through their mind after they've died so many times and not been able to fight so many times because these Teemo Shrooms are poking them down before anything even happens.
Yeah, Morgana is super fast with the boots of mobility. Is going to be caught up. Just deleted from the map. Diana said, here's a cue to the face. You can eat that and go back to base.
You do see the Diana up in the top lane with the Caitlyn, but Caitlyn is not near as important for this Elder as Diana, or as Vi is.
No,
They're both making their way
not.
down now. Is Vi going to be caught out here by the Caitlyn?
No, does have to use flash to get away, but she does want to go back in. I don't understand what the call is here, but does use the ultimate. Does have the Guardian Angel, but that is a Caitlyn. She's going to be able to lay down traps, and then we do have a fight going in. Leona is going to be able to whiff on her Zenith blade, but we do have traps coming in. Jinx is unable to join the fight. Elder Dragon is up, but we got to imagine what's going to go on here. Diana, is she going to be able to get the damage out? I don't think she is. Brand does get his damage going out, but Diana is coming here on the flank. Is she going to clean it up? Mastery does use flash forward. Alpha Strike coming out and deletes the Jinx from the map. That's going to be Elder Dragon going over to the side of Defiant.
Elder call for the side of Defiant. They need to be careful with this Diana here. They do see her as she runs over Teemo's shroom, but Teemo is out of mana. Master Yi healing back up to full health. It looks like it is going to be the Elder for the sides of Defiant.
Diana flashing forward. Not sure what the call was there. Just wanting to see what you could do, but that was a little bit of lackluster, to say the least.
If you're going to make a play like that, you have to go in before the Elder goes down, as they do get that 25% health execute, which is just massive. She was not able to get anything off there hardly, and just goes down. Yeah,
and in these team fights, we've seen Diana able to clutch it out, being under 25% health, so this Elder Dragon is going to be able to negate that. Divide does fancy herself to go in. It's going to go in. No, but the damage is too much from the Brand. Still not able to take him out. And that, look at the death timers. 60 seconds on the Vi, 30 seconds on the Diana. These are two inhibitors down. Minions are pushing in, but the Brand is low. Are we going to be able to see a game coming here at 47 minutes? We have over 90 kills in this game here in the ESDL. Morgana going to be able to slow it out here from the Fiora. What are we going to see? But the Jinx does have a lot of damage here. Full crit. 4 items. Even getting another Zeal. I think that's too much crit. Maybe build a bit of a QSS, but I'm not sure what the call is there.
The QSS or the Guardian Angel out from this Jinx. Maybe help her peel off of this Master Yi a little bit. But instead she is going to go for that Zeal item like you said, which I do not believe is the call. If she wants that Phantom Dancer, she could change out the Rapid Fire Cannon for that, but I do not believe that this is the call at all. Some lifesteal would have been better even.
Yeah, I would have liked to see a Phantom Dancer plus Guardian Angel at the very least. Bloodthirster is absolutely good on the Jinx. But the Super Soaker coming in, gonna whiff on Leona, who's just trying to clear out some vision here. Look at the mushrooms, though. We do see another sweeper onto the Vi, though, finally. And even Fiora's got one as well.
Even Fiora, yes. Finally, they're doing something about these Teemo shrooms. But Fiora does appear to pop the sweeper and walk away from the shrooms, not actually taking them out, but clearing the minion wave instead. That's going to go on cooldown for a while now, and those shrooms are just going to be in the base like crazy.
Yeah, a little bit of confusion there, but the Caitlyn might be caught out here, but the flank is threatening here from the side of Defiant.
Yep, okay. Gods and Demacia are just cowering in their base right now. Nothing they can really do. The Baron is up, so Master Yi might even be able to just solo this Baron. Maybe do it with the help of Caitlyn. Yes, they're just going to go ahead and start the Baron. I don't think Gods and Demacia can even do anything about this.
No, I don't think they can, especially with this being Turtle in their base. That is going to be a Baron going over, and you got to imagine with that being so late in the game, 2 inhibitors down, this has got to be an inevitable GG.
Yeah, I don't know what Gods and Demacia are going to do here against this. Everybody does appear to be coming full build. It is going to be a Phantom Dancer from the Jinx, like we predicted. But I just can't see that being a good buy. That attack speed is not really needed when you have the lethal tempo and your passive. Yeah. And that crit is obviously not needed on her, as she already was at 100% crit.
That's called taking your money and throwing it directly down the drain. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Most definitely. There were so many other items she could have gone there. If she really needs that lifeline shield, she could have even done with a Maul there.
Yeah, I would have loved to see a Maul come out.
I would have loved to see basically any item besides the Phantom Dancer there.
Absolutely.
I can't see any case for that item at all.
Yeah.
It appears to have been a pretty good game from the side of Jinx besides this item right here now.
Yeah. Was able to stay alive as much as possible, even considering the Master Yi able to delete her from the map. Now we're in what's called the ultra late game. This usually only happens when teams are a little indecisive, as we've seen. Right now, almost 100 kills in the match, just basically 3 away. If we do get an ace, we will see 100 kills in the game.
What I want to see from the side of Defiant is I want this Teemo to recall first so he can get some mana. And I want to see them push this tower and let the minions do all the work, and maybe Caitlyn whenever she gets her RFC proc off. But I don't want them pushing up too much. They can just take all 3 of these in.
Flash forward onto the Brand, but is not able to get the damage gone. Zanya's popped, and Diana is going to be able to clean that up. Zanya's popped, and we've got the Leona going in onto the Morgana. Zanya's over here as well. So many Zanyas being used. Fiora able to take him up. Caitlyn is absolutely destroying that inhibitor with the help of Master Yi here, but they are super low. Guardian Angel going to be used. Ultimate just a little too late coming out, but that will be Caitlyn going down. Oh my goodness, such a huge blunder from the side of Defiant. Look at the death timers, over a minute onto the Caitlyn. But we
I don't think anything can get done here, though. With these 3 waves pushing in, they have to make sure all 3 of them are out to steer away from the backdoor potential. So I do not think they're going to be able to get even a single tower off this, and no objectives are live either.
Yeah, no objectives. It's pretty much just delay the inevitable. I don't know if they can make the turn, because look at the gold. All items are bought that are going to be bought. It's pretty much just elixirs and maybe even fixing some item mistakes earlier, but there are no more items that are going to be bought. People are going to be as strong as are going to be in this game, so it's just going to come down to team fight, calling, and execution here. Which team is going to be able to pull it out?
I don't know. I'm scared for the side of Gods of Demacia. They let this Brand get so strong, and they still are not playing around his ultimates at all. They're letting him do whatever he wants to them. And just accepting it, and they're still not doing anything about the Master Yi either. As he is 16, 6, and 13, this Leona is engaging instead of peeling for this Jinx, which is the main thing she should be doing. Drop her ultimate and then peel for the Jinx.
Yeah, absolutely. Mushroom's going to be cleared out here. We do have, what is it, 13 seconds coming up on the
Elder, yes.
Yeah, on the Elder. That will be a big team fight, but looks like Gods of Demacia not in position. Fiora does have teleport, but Vi going to be caught out here. She is in vision with the Guardian Angel, but that still is going to be falling over. Master Yi and Teemo will focus the Elder Dragon to be able to get that down. Guardian Angel is going to be popped here. Banshee's Vel available still for the Morgana. Jinx had a little bit of a DC, unable to join this fight. That's going to be Elder Dragon going over to the side of Defiant here, and huge damage coming out. Leona going in onto the Brand, but it's not going to be enough damage. Ignite's being used, and that is the huge pops coming out here from the Elder Dragon doing the damage.
Game 1 right here.
Yeah, that is absolutely going to be game. 70-second death timers. This will be GG going over here to the side of Defiant. It's just a matter of formality at this point. But we have had a 53-minute game, probably 54 by the time the Nexus does fall. Oh my goodness.
102 kills and 101 kills, sorry, in this game here.
It will be 102 though, because the Fiora is going to fall here.
Yes.
Parry will not save her, and that is going to be the Nexus falling. Defiant able to pull it out in the late game team fights in an unsightly win here in the ESDL.
That was crazy game from the side, from both teams, with over 102 kills that game. I was crazy. As you see here in the end game screen, Gods of Demacia did pick up the 4 sweepers at the end there, but it was not enough to deal with that Teemo shrooms that they should have been dealing with all game long.
Yeah, I like to call that too little too late. Unfortunately, just unable to clutch that out. I mean, the items coming through just a little too late. The damage is already done when the Dragon Soul was picked up on the side of Defiant, because there were at least 8 mushrooms in the Dragon Pit. We're unable to do anything. So many deaths going over to Teemo simply because full neglect coming out of the side of Gods of Demacia.
Yes, I believe that was all 5 of his kills, maybe 4 of them were just from his shrooms, just from people randomly walking over them, giving him extra gold through that, able to make those even more lethal.
Yeah, it's just a little concerning. You got to imagine, if we have any coaches here, are they going to be able to do a mental reset for these teams here? Because we did see it was mainly a little bit of team fighting and strategic miscalls, because Diana was able to put out her damage and did have back-to-back triple kills. So you got to imagine that this could have been going in the favor of Gods of Demacia, just unable to capitalize on the team fights that they had.
Yes, I would love to see some bans from the sides of Gods of Demacia to limit that champion pool on the sides of Defiant, as they did ban out some bans that I believe were not necessary, like that Maokai in the end there. Or no, that was on the sides of Defiant, my bad. But I would love to see them get rid of that brand, not let that brand go through, as they were able to deal with it some, but even then, it was still very difficult for them to do anything against it for the
Yeah.
longest time in that game.
Yeah, absolutely. That has been the longest game that I have had the pleasure to cast here in the ESDL. You got to imagine what's going to be the play here coming out from the side of Gods of Demacia now going forward.
I'm going to ask if they are taking a break in between games or not. If they're wanting to take like a 5-minute break or something to talk.
I wonder what the call is going to be. It looks like we're just waiting on one more player to load up. And one thing I did not take note of earlier, we do see this is a mostly bronze/iron elo here, so probably that's what's contributing to the lack of decision making. I really would like to see a lot of coaching and strategic planning being pumped into these lower elo teams to be able to, assist them and propel them into the next steps, because we do see some of the mechanics are available and the damage is able to come out. It's just there's no capitalization on objectives after the team fight is won.
Yes, I would love to see a coach on each of these teams to help them with their itemizations, help them to know when to capitalize on things, such as there were so many calls that game that were so questionable, such as not going for Baron until 42 minutes into the game. The Baron was not even toyed with at all, and nobody even really prioritized vision on it. Nobody even attempted to bait it or anything like that. They just let it sit there for 42 minutes. And
Yeah.
some of those items on the sides of Gods of Demacia, I just don't understand what they were thinking with them. They very situational items that were not good. They were trying to build too general, or just were building items like that Phantom Dancer on that Jinx was not doing anything for her.
Yeah, just a lot of miss items coming out here as well, because I know that I love to play Jinx, and I will pretty much go IE, Runeans, a Zeal item, whether it be Phantom Dancer or Rapid Fire Cannon. But then it's defensive from there. GA, I'm gonna build that, and then depending on how fed I am, I will go for Bloodthirster or another defensive item and the Maul Malmortis. So just a little bit of and it's not huge errors. It's just small errors that eventually snowball into game losing scenarios.
Yeah, I didn't see anything super huge that game. I did see Leona was out of position quite a few times. Well, like we talked about before the game, that does come with subbing into a team that you're most likely not super familiar with. So you're not always on the exact same page as them. So hopefully after that first game, that Leona is going to be a little more focused on what the team is trying to do in these games.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do want to see some more objective-oriented gameplay coming out of these teams, because we do see that the ability is there, but we have to see more capitalization, and it has to come through in the form of communication and more commitment, right? Because even if you're concerned about if you have enough, a lot of times the easiest way to understand if you have enough is, did you kill a person and do you have numbers? And if you have number advantage, then you do have the right and the agency to go forward and take those objectives, especially when those team fights come out.
Something else I want to see in Game 2 from Gods of Demacia is I want to see, I believe Cameron was their jungler. I want to see him on something a little bit stronger. I don't want him to be on the Vi. I want him to be on an assassin or something, because with his playstyle that game, always trying to go for the picks, always trying to go for the 1v1 on something, doing that on a Vi is not the best option, especially whenever you're that behind. If he picks up something like the Evelyn, something like the Elise, he'd be able to do picks like that much easier, but the Vi is not the move in that situation.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So they are taking a 5-minute break here, I believe. She'll be back soon. We're waiting for the last member of Defiant to join up into this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wonder if there's going to be any draft changes from the side of Gods of Demacia here, try and counteract some of that power on the Master Yi or even the Brand that were both very dominant in that game. Throughout the game, that Brand was a threat from early until late, and then that Master Yi came online in the late game very heavily.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And I want to see more ease of execution coming out of from these team fights. You mentioned earlier, changing up the drafts. I want to see something that is more easy to execute, not having to rely on simple outplay mechanically, but just something as simple as going back old school, even an Orianna and a Jarvan. But we are getting started up here. The draft has come through. Going to be interesting to see what's going to get picked up here.
The Diana ban does come out from the side of Defiant. So they're going to try and get rid of that, as that was the biggest threat for the sides of Gods of Demacia. And they also banned the Master Yi.
Yeah, Master Yi ban does come out. Very interesting to see that because it's more of a reactionary ban. They call it the NA Classic. Warwick ban and Diana as well being banned out, so they're not one to deal with any kind of that stalling that Diana was able to come with.
It almost feels like Gods of Demacia right here are trying to ban out all of Defiant's last champions. I don't think the Teemo was the best ban though, because that Fiora seemed to deal with that perfectly. I feel if I was that Fiora, I would have loved to get that Teemo picked against me again and just get a free lane.
Yeah, free lane, bring it on, just more capitalization, and the brand
does come out, thank goodness.
Wow. So full targeted bans coming out here from the side of Gods of Demacia. Not want to play any of that.
First pick Lux, that is very interesting. It can be flexed to mid or support. So that probably is a pretty good pick for the sides of Defiant here.
Yeah.
We didn't touch on this, but Defiant did choose to pick up Blue's side in game 2 here, as Gods of Demacia are going to be on red side. We did see the team on red side win last game. And then Tristana is going to be locked in. You don't see that too often. Tristana logged in, looking to get countered maybe by a support or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see what we're going to pair the Tristana up with. I would love to see a Braum actually paired up with the Tristana. You can be incredibly aggressive with that lane matchup.
That's what I'm talking about. The Lee Sin, that is a good pick, I believe, for the jungle here on the sides of Gods of Demacia. Lee Sin has very strong early game, very strong pick potential with his kick, and even in the late game with his kick, he can ward hop behind somebody and kick them into the team and get a very strong pick that way. I just do not believe that Devi was the answer last game, so I really like to see this game.
Yeah, and we see the Jhin coming through. Now, the Jhin was banned out in game 1, now being picked up on the side here of Defiant. So you got to imagine that could be paired with the Lux, and that can be a very oppressive lane.
It's going to be the Heimerdinger pick here. Looks like that's most likely going to be the mid laner for the side of Defiant. It's going to be another very squishy team for Defiant here so far. See if they can pick up any tank in the jungle or top lane. And the Talon pick is going to be pretty terrible in my eyes for that Jhin, as he can't do anything against him, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think... see, when the Talon has his ultimate up, Jhin will die unless he plans it perfectly and puts his traps where he needs to be and gets the invisible snare with his W, because he does have the damage to be able to deal with it. It's going to be on the job of this Lux to peel and get those huge shields that we do see coming out later in the game.
Now, I do not believe that Gods of Demacia are paying much attention to this game, though, or to the draft currently, as they do ban out the Morgana, but it is most likely going to be a Lux support here. And once again, I don't even feel like Morgana was the problem that game. So if they're just going a 5-for-5 ban, that is not going to work, I don't think.
Yeah, a little bit of a miscommunication you got to imagine there. I mean, yeah, sure, Lux can go in the mid lane, but we see her more often as a support player.
Especially after seeing the Heimer pick as well. That being flex top that'd be a crazy pick to have go top lane.
Yeah, especially when you see a Fiora last game.
Yes.
A Teemo last game. So I guess somewhat similar. Deli Rios, thank you so much for the follow on the ESDL 5 channel. Looking forward to seeing you here for some more broadcasts from the ESDL.
It's going to be the set pickup for the sides of Gods of Demacia. I do like that pickup. It is a very strong pick, but they are going to need some magic damage here, as they are very AD heavy with 4 AD champions, and they have all of their solo laners picked, it appears, so only their support left.
Yeah, and then looks like Defiant. I was going to say Defiant taking a different road, going all AP, but is going to bring in the Jax here. You got to imagine that's going into the jungle. So a little confused. So Sona support with the Jhin is going to be able to do a lot of trading damage. Heimer in the top lane with the Lux in the mid lane.
It is Heimer in the top lane, so we weren't wrong.
It is okay.
They caught our bluff.
They have called it. They were probably ghosting us and knew exactly how to play that. But what is going to be the final pick here for the side of Gods of Demacia?
Not too many AP heavy supports that they have left. They did ban the Morgana. Ooh, the Swain is a very strong pick against the Jhin, though. The Jhin Lux, neither of them have much mobility, so if Swain does hit that binding in the burst that you see Tristana having, that can be a very lethal lane right there.
Yeah, very lethal lane, especially with the pullback, is going to allow the Tristana to go in confidently with those rocket jumps. I'm very curious to see what's going to happen here because we do have a little bit of trading and poking coming from the Jhin and the Sona, but a lot more all-in and kill potential from the Tristana and the Swain. I'm just a little...
once again do prefer Gods of Demacia's draft here, but as we saw last game, they were not able to execute on it properly. Let's see if they can change that up this game and actually work a little bit more together off of this, as they do have sets pretty heavy engage. If he does get his E off on 2 people, he will get the stun, and Swain can then follow it up with his passive.
Yeah, and one thing I want to point out here, Smash v Bastion over on the Twitch channel has pointed out that what in the world is going on with this blue side draft? We have a lot of AP. We don't have any tanks. And we saw that in the last game. Defiant does not like to play tanks. Doesn't matter how late the game's going to go. They don't want to play tanks at all.
Yeah, both games, it appears that nobody is going tank on the sides of Defiant. Jax is their biggest bet, but Jax only gets so beefy. He never gets to be to that tank status, I wouldn't say.
Yeah, it doesn't really get to fulfill that role.
Look.
Yeah, more of a bruiser and is able to do a lot of damage in the late game. But there's a lot of displacement. Look at the Tristana and the Lee Sin. Both of them have abilities to push away or to go in for... they both have insect abilities as well. So a lot more CC coming out of the side of Gods of Demacia. You got to wonder if that's going to be able to clutch out these team fights if they can layer that properly.
And I'm hoping to see this Tristana be able to do what the Jinx couldn't. Move around these team fights. Maybe be able to use her rocket jump to get into a position to be able to pick off the carries on the backline, because Jax should not be too much of a threat to her. As you did say with her ultimate, she can just push him away after he jumps in on her.
Yeah, absolutely. Just really curious to see. And eventually, as the game goes later and later and later, Tristana will build up range with her passive, so we'll be able to push the Jhin out and just basically outrange him. I think even starting as early as level 3 or 4. So there is a lot of range on the side of Defiant with just Jax being in melee range. So you got to wonder what's going to be the team fighting looking like from the side here of Defiant. I see a lot more clear, evident team fighting coming out from the side of Gods of Demacia.
Yeah, Gods of Demacia do have a much stronger team fight here. It looks like Defiant's comp is more of a pit type comp with the Jhin, Sona, the Heimer, and the Lux. All of them have pretty good CC that they can lock down one person with. But it looks like that Gods of Demacia are going to be very tanky here. Set and Swain both get to the point where they have lots of health. And Lee Sin, even if you build him the bruiser way, he's going to be very strong with his shields.
Yeah, absolutely. And able to mitigate a lot of that damage. As soon as the bomb goes onto Jax's head, it's going to pull up the Counter-Strike to be able to delay that detonation. And a lot of the power from the Tristana, because in the game before, Jinx had the resets. Well, Tristana has resets as well with her rocket jump, able to jump in and out of team fights with a lot of kiting here. So looking to see exactly how it's going to be going forward. Almost finished with our competitive integrity spectator delay here. Just 15 seconds left on that, and then we'll be jumping into the game, seeing exactly how it's going to play out before us. I'm looking for the Gods of Demacia to take an early game control and close this game out quickly, because if you can do that before the Defiant is able to get their items up and able to dump their damage like they were before, I got to favor them in this game.
Yes, their early game comp is, or their comp is a lot more early game focused, as you can see here, especially compared to their previous one. So hopefully they can capitalize on that, because Tristana is very strong in the early game. She is strong in the late game as well, but I believe she can catch you by surprise in the early game with her bomb damage.
Yeah, absolutely, especially going press the attack. It's pretty much only the mid game where Tristana falls off just because of the survivability, and the damage hasn't yet ramped up. You got to get the rapid fire cannon with IE, and a second Zeal item in order to really start pumping that out. But I mean, we do see
I
the
do see the
Lux.
Conqueror on the Talon, which is a little different to me. That's usually an unconventional rune for him to go, I guess, but maybe he wants some more sustain in these fights if he's trying to fight after bursting somebody.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see for sure what the call is going to be there, because usually you want to see something a little more bursty, maybe the electrocute coming out from the side of the Talon, but maybe thinks he's going to be able to sustain some things. Who knows?
See, if Gods of Demacia are going to invade this game like they did last, Defiant's going to be looking for the 5-point here. Yeah, if you remember, Gods of Demacia did get that early first blood last game, but they didn't do anything with it as Fiora did not back.
Yeah, I wasn't able to get that. Yeah, I wasn't unable to cash on that first blood. So everyone tuning in, this is the ESDL Week 2 match between Defiant and Gods of Demacia. Defiant currently up 1 game in the series in this best of 2. We're looking to see if Gods of Demacia can get the mental reset and able to clutch this game out. But we do have a little bit of a disconnect coming out from the mid laner of Gods of Demacia. You got to wonder what's going on there. Riot, please fix the servers.
Maybe looking for a pause here in a minute.
Potentially.
Minions have spawned. If he's not able to get to lane in time, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, it does look like there's going to be a consensual pause coming out here.
Send in a pause request right now.
Yeah, and we do have a pause. The first pause that I have witnessed in the ESDL, so this will be exciting. Talon has officially reconnected, so hopefully that won't be an issue going forward. Shout out to Comcast. If you're not on Comcast, please make sure you get on Comcast. Full gigabit Ethernet internet speed available for you. DOCSIS 3.1 technology. Shameless plug. Shameless plug.
Already, it does look like the Talon is back and ready to go. Can be a little bit of a disadvantage here for him, though, which is unfortunate that he's not going to be at this wave as soon as it crashes, so it's going to be a little rough for him to hit level 2, which is known to be Talon's strongest spike. Is everybody's scared of Talon as soon as he hits level 2 because he can one-shot you. That damage is insane that he can pull out.
Yeah, absolutely deceptive. So we're going to see how he's going to be able to combat against that here in this early game against the Lux.
Item start for this Swain, I believe. Going for the Relic Shield over the Spell Piece. A little bit different.
Yeah, a little different here. Not sure what the call was there, but...
And the Dark Seal from Lux is very... what's the word?
Overconfident?
Overconfident, yeah, overconfident, especially versus the Talon, who's going to be a very rough matchup for her, I believe, this early game. As she does have the range on him, he can still pull off some crazy plays, as you see all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Swain able to get the bomb explosion onto those minions. Pretty even here in the bot lane. Heimer will look to set up his turrets forever and ever, amen, as he's able to do.
I wonder how the set's going to be able to do up here this time, though. I hope I see some Merc Treads out for him, as it is another 3 AP, 3 magic damage champion game from the side of Defiant. Hopefully does not move towards the Ninja Tabbies again.
Hopefully we don't see that coming out, but a little bit of trading going here in the mid lane. Relatively even, just trading back and forth. Waiting to see who's going to be able to draw first blood.
Like we assumed would happen.
Heimer just permanently
pushing.
pushing.
A lot more CS this game, though, compared to last. Jhin gets pulled in, a little bit of damage.
And we do see a top side clearing here from the junglers, respectively. Lee Sin taking an early back here just to get the regenerative bead and the hunter's machete.
Well, he started with the rejuve bead instead of potions this game. Jack's getting a little... Okay, he does have the smite. I didn't see that he had the smite. I thought he was going to maybe go down to that blue buff there.
That would have been slightly embarrassing, but able to stay away from that.
Rough.
Yeah.
Now, Set is having a lot of trouble farming in the lane up here. He was doing fine last game against the Teemo, but he's now down about 2 waves of minions to this Heimer.
Yeah, Heimer is just incredibly annoying to deal with.
Minions. He is down in XP as well. Not sure how that happened exactly. They are even on minions dead.
Yeah. Oh, the Sona getting pulled in here. That's going to be a lot of trade damage. Tristana favors herself to go in. Made a little bit of a miss jump here. Jin able to go land that snare onto the Tristana, getting that trade damage back. Lux getting the better of the trade here in the mid lane as well.
She is out of mana here, though, so Talon can capitalize on this property. He might be able to pick up an early kill on the Lux, will make his lane go a lot smoother.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jack's looking in on this Talon right now, though. He needs to be very careful. He does have his wall jump to be able to get out easily, though.
Low man on the side of the Talon there. Here comes the Jax coming in for the gank. It's going to be lots of damage coming out, and this flash forward and the Ignite coming down. First blood over to the Lux here from the side of Defiant, able to pick that up and recognize that the mana was low, unable to get a full spell rotation come.
Not sure what happened with this Talon here, though, as his wall jump does not cost any mana. He could have just jumped the walls there, I feel like, and not gone down there. Not had to burn the flash or anything, but instead he is going to go down, and first blood over to the Lux is going to make his lane very difficult, as that Dark Seal is already paying off for the Lux.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting pulled in here from the Swain here by the Jin. Fourth bullet is up.
Swain, though.
Yeah, not going to be able to get the return damage, but was good effort there. Swain definitely low is going to be able to pop some of those potions, and I believe that's all he has left.
Looking to pick up a
we
kill
do
on
have
the
an
Lux
Ignite
here,
going
though.
down onto the Lux, but just doesn't have the follow-up damage, getting snared there by the Lux Q. One of the most annoying abilities in the game.
Now, Heimer up in this top lane does have about 0 mana left over. So if Set can get a good engage on him here, it might just be doomed for the Heimer.
Yeah, especially with that true damage coming out as well.
Talon's going to shove it in, or he's going to hold this lane in the middle right here while Lux does take a recall. I would like to see him shove that in, make her miss a few waves like he missed whenever he died.
Yeah, absolutely. Big wave building here in the bot lane for the Tristana as well.
Yeah, she's going to push in this. Maybe they might be looking to Dragon. No, Lee Sin's going to take another recall here. CS is looking very even in the bot lane, but Jin does have this entire wave to pick up. Misses the cannon there. That was tragic.
Yeah, and Set able to even out the CS game here in the top lane, even being permanently pushed in.
I don't know how he did that. He was down about 16.
Oh, but the Talon coming in here for a roam, running into the turrets. That's just going to be free firing on you, Talon.
No mana, though.
Little bit of disparaging communication from these top and mid laners here. Heimer just going to sit under his turrets.
Not sure why Set won't collapse on this. The Heimer does have no mana left over right now.
Yeah, but does have 6. Is the grenade does come out. The Talon does go in, and the flash used away from the Heimer to be able to get out of that gank. Maybe a little bit of an overstay, but the Lux is roaming up here from the river. Is he going to be able to catch the Talon out? No, Talon wants to go in, and the Lux is able to use the ultimate and is going to be able to take the Talon down with the ultimate. Super low cooldown on that, but that was the first one used of the game. Lee Sin wants to come over and just going to get snared up, and then here comes the Jax. Flash away from the Lee Sin, but the Smite is used to get a little of the slow, and that is going to be... Oh my goodness, this Lux has 3 kills in the early game, has all the kills, and she is going to be absolutely huge in this mid lane.
This Dark Seal buy is insane that it's actually working for her. I would have never guessed that this would work for a Lux versus a Talon matchup, but she does pick up the 3 early kills before 8 minutes in the game even.
Yeah, both you and I were questioning that Dark Seal, and now it's paid off in dividends.
Yeah, she's up to 6 stacks on it now.
Talon wants to go in again, gets caught out by the Lux Q again.
He's 2 levels down on her. Not sure what he thinks he's doing. He's still losing these trades.
Yeah, doesn't even have his ultimate available to get this significant burst damage that he does have, but does want to go in again, does the flip. Is going to be able to use some of the damage, but the Ignite does come down for the Lux. Here comes the Jax. Return Ignite, and that's going to be Jax picking up the kill onto the Talon here in the mid lane. Talon
onto the Lux.
Over-aggressive. Not sure what's going through the mindset of the mid laner from Gods of Demacia.
And this was Defiant's main member last game. Diana was just the biggest threat. Try to bring her team back from such a huge deficit, and now he's starting the game with 3 deaths, down 20 farm. I don't think he's going to be able to do anything in this lane against this Lux, and it might just put him behind for the entire game, being this far behind.
You gotta wonder what's going through the mindset of the Talon here, because in the game with Diana, he was able to one-shot everybody. Do you wonder if it's a little bit of a mentality thing? He thinks he has that same damage from last game.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's doing here, as he's clearly behind and he's missing waves into his tower to try and push into this Lux that he's 2 levels down on without any vision in the bushes to know if Jax is near.
Yeah, just putting himself further and further behind, trying to get it turned around. I mean, there is a 300 gold bounty onto the Lux, so that would be 600 gold picked up if that kill does come through.
Dragon started for the side of Gods of Demacia here. It is an Ocean Drake. It is a very scary dragon to take early, as the auto attacks do slow you. And they're going to let it reset.
Yeah, just going to clear out the vision here on the side of Defiant. Grenade going to come through onto the top lane. Heimer, again, just being incredibly annoying to deal with in the top lane. Ultimate is used with the Mega Cannon. Not sure what the call is there.
Little ambitious call from him. Does get a lot of poke down onto this set here. Talon's looking for a dive bottom lane, but they do not know that the Jax is there again.
Yeah, Jax is here.
And now they're backing off.
Absolutely. Talon desperately trying to get something done with roams. He can't get it done in his own lane, so really looking to see what's going to happen here.
What I hate to see here, though, is he's losing wave after wave to this tower, gaining no XP. Still 2 levels down.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Lux is just getting farther and farther and farther ahead. We do have a pause coming through. Jhin has disconnected again. That's the second disconnect. You got to wonder...
his game, I think, here.
Okay. Just a little bit of confusion coming out here from the side of the ISPs. I'm actually going to report the ISPs, maybe even a little bit of the Riot servers.
Yes, they've been a little bit shaky lately.
Yeah. Oh, and we do have...
multiple members are reconnecting, I guess.
Yeah, you got to wonder what's going on here. Maybe a little bit of an extended pause going to come out here from both teams. Just to be able to possibly reset, get the modems back up and running. Packets just dropping left and right. You got to imagine this is not UPS style, because the package does not get delivered.
I want to touch up on here is the CS in the bot lane is going a little bit in favor of this Tristana, and Set has evened it out in the top lane, but this Talon is doing nothing to try and pick this back up.
Yeah, the Talon... So the idea is whenever you're down in the mid lane and you can't get in your own, try and go on the roams and see what you can get from there. But just being constantly tracked here by the Jax on the side of Defiant, so unable to catch anyone by surprise, it's not able to get anything done.
Yes, you see the teleport coming out from Set here in the top and get himself back in for this wave so he doesn't miss too much. He's stay caught up in the farm here. Looks like he's going to be going for the normal Bork build first right here, which should be able to allow him to get onto this Heimer a little bit easier with that slow.
Yeah, just being constantly pressured under tower is not what you want to be as a Set who's used to bullying everybody in the top lane.
So I want to see from this Tristana here to keep building her CS lead maybe a little bit and maybe let them push her in. I know it's hard on the Tristana to do with her E passive, as she does explode the minions.
Oh, Releasing does want to go in on the Heimer. Is going to be able to use, but the ultimate popped up here. Suplex coming in from the Set. Absolutely misses the Haymaker. And then we do have a kill going over into the mid lane. Ultimate used from the Lux, and Ignite falls down. Heimer will stay alive here in the top lane, but Talon again getting overconfident.
Gods of Demacia are just falling apart this game, it looks like, on the top side of the map. I do not know what's happening up there.
Yeah, you hate to see the mental go boom like this, but boom, it is going right now.
I know, I don't know what they think they're doing here, but they need to start playing like a team that's having to play from behind.
Yeah, I mean, the Tristana does have huge scaling potential. Set is absolutely massive in the bot lane. We do have a little bit of a trading going on. But Set will be able to scale up if given the time to do so, and with that true damage from the Haymaker, does even it out. But you just gotta wonder, are they gonna make it there now with a huge 3,000 gold deficit already at 12 minutes in? Jhin is able to slyly walk away from the Swain queue there. You wonder if that was planned or not.
Yeah, it looks like Lee Sin's going to start with this dragon here for the second time this game. Those wards on the side of Defiant are not picking it up, I don't believe, but Sona does have a very good flank.
Sona ultimate being used. Lee Sin did go low, but was able to finally pick up the dragon, but the Jax is going to be able to get the cleanup crew here. Jin will eventually fall, but the huge execution damage. Flash forward from the Tristana. Jax is going to be able to get the cleanups here, able to take down Swain and Tristana, the bot lane both. Here comes the slow out, flash forward, and leap counter-strike. Triple kill for the Jax, able to take and clean up that team fight there. Was the dragon worth it? I don't think so.
I don't want to get too hasty, but it does look like this game might be wrapped up a little bit early here, as Defiant is just doing whatever they want to God for Demacia. They do not, and unfortunately for them, pick up the dragon there, but they do pick up 3 kills as the trade, or 4 kills, sorry, as the trade. As Lux is on 10 stacks on the Stark Steel, maybe looking for a Medjai's here even, as I believe she could get away with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. She should be able to get away with it. What's also concerning here is Defiant is doing all of this in the face of all adversity. They shouldn't be able to do this this type of composition and still make it work. But we do see the Lee Sin actually missing the Q here. Does use the ultimate, is able to snare up the Talon, just waiting here for being able to go in. The slow does come through. Lee Sin missing another Q is going to allow the Lux to get away here in the mid lane.
I think his plan there maybe was to try and get the ult off into the tower, but he miscalculated the timing. Talon's going to get picked up.
Oh no, Talon is going to get picked up. Does able to get dodged away from the snare from the Lux. Might be able to vault away to safety. But
it looks like he's going to parkour his way out through the map. Always annoying whenever Talon does that.
Oh, absolutely. Nobody likes to see Talon living with 1 HP just because he gets to vault forever and ever.
He is 46 farm down on this Lux. He is 3 levels down on his opposing laner. I think if Lux hits a snare on him, she is just going to kill him.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Pick up this Medjai's here as soon as possible. Just pick up the Ludens, which is smart.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of that Aether, I would have done a Medjai's on her, because it looks like this Talon is just refusing to play safe. So I think she could stack that up very, very easily.
And we do have some more information coming in. This is the first game that has been played from these players in the top, mid, and jungle. First Lee Sin, first set, and first Talon game coming out.
And I think it's showing. I think it's showing on at least 2 out of 3 of them. The set's being able to play in the lane like he should be, I believe, against a Heimer, somebody who can poke him out pretty easily. He's managing to sustain himself quite nicely, and actually has a farm lead on the Heimer here, which you don't see too often.
Yeah, you don't see too often, especially in the top lane. And then that is going to be mid tower falling down, but Jin able to get some damage, and the ultimate is going to be used. Is going to be able to take out the Talon again in the mid lane at the tier 2 under his turret. Unfortunately, Lee Sin coming through, missing another Q. Lux is going to be able to go away.
If she would have picked up the Morels, I think she could just knock down 20 stacks. She'd be at right about now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And 20 stacks. I'm sorry, Medjai's is just insane for the gold that it costs.
Oh no, the damage is huge. Are we going to get it? Yes, it is. The auto attack will come through. The Raptors doing a little bit of work for the side of Defiant here.
His own Raptors going against him.
So unfortunate. Yeah, he's sick and tired. He just wants he wants things to happen. Swain Q gonna whiff here in the bot lane, not catching anybody out of surprise. Swain does have to be careful though.
I almost feel like this Talon and Lee Sin are just giving up this game at this point, not even wanting to try.
Yeah, we do see the ultimate being used here. Is going to be enough? No, the Q will land, and that is a huge damage all in your face. Just exploded right there with a huge ultimate coming out from Lux.
Hey, Talon, that Lux is 7-0. You can't dive into her like that, man. You've got 7 deaths. He doesn't even have his item built yet. He cannot be playing like that. He's playing like he has a completed Duskblade out of vision like that, trying to hop in. But it's not doing anything for you.
That is illegal, for sure.
Something you hate to see here as well is Jax is such a scary threat in the late game, as you see so many games just go down the drain because the Jax gets so strong, and he's already 4-0 in this early game as well.
Yeah, we do see a little bit of trading going here in the bot lane. Jin wanting to go forward, is able to get both Tristana and Swain low. Are we going to be able to see? No, it's whiffing both, but Solana ultimate does come through. Are we going to be able to get the final? Yes, the execution does come through. Bakala Boy picking up a kill on this Jin, who's been relatively quiet this past series.
Looks like across the map so far.
Oh no, the Lee Sin's caught out here by the Jax. Jax just wanted to walk away. They gave each other a kiss and said, "Mwah, see you later, boy."
I don't think that Jax knew that set recalled, I guess, because Heimer did back off a little bit, but I think that Jax could have gone in there on that Lee Sin because he did just use his ward, so he would not have been able to hop out there.
Yes, and as we've seen before time and time again in this current meta, the solo laners from the side of Defiant are winning, and that is allowing the bot lane of Defiant, Jhin and Sona, to push up with more confidence and start getting a foothold in this bottom lane.
Yes, because Lee Sin has not paid much attention down bot lane besides the 2 times he started the dragon. Tristana might be picked here. Ultimate is barely going to miss on the side of the
Snare going to come through, but Jax wanted to go in on the Lee Sin.
From the Lux, which I like to see, because that is going to be huge on her if she can pick up 25 stacks on that, which I believe she will be able to inevitably do.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't see the Lux dying this game. Huge damage coming through. Lee Sin wanting to go in a little bit, maybe a little bit lackluster, but the Swain is caught out here. Flash forward from the Jax, not going to be able to pick it up though with the counter strike, but the Lux is able to catch out the Lee Sin. Ultimate use from the Lee Sin as well. Swain going in with his ultimate pop. Sona will fall. Jhin coming up here. The counter strike, no, pushed away from the ultimate from the Tristana. Tongue-tied myself.
Dive here, so I was on the side of Defiant. Tristana is so low down there, doesn't have any sums, just used her ultimate and her flash. They're not going to do it. Lux might be trying for something.
Oh
here.
no! The
Tristana.
W with the comment, able to pick up the Tristana, no dive needed. I don't know what to do here. There was so much action. I even tongue-tied myself. I was like, who's dying? Somebody's dying. Swain's going in. Ultimate's used. Craziness.
So Lux flash over the blue buff wall to get the flank onto the Lee Sin, pick him off, while the rest of the team was focused on the Swain.
Oh, the Talon wants to go in. Flash being used away, though. Does he have enough damage to take out the Jhin? I don't know, because the snare is going to come through. 3 bullets still remaining.
But both sums are used from the Jhin, and Talon did almost win that still, so that's going to be a little bit scary for the Jhin here, as he has no sums to save him if that happens again. Yeah,
that's a little bit of a Rito moment. A 0-7 Talon able to somehow almost solo out a 2-1 for Jhin. Yeah. Confusing.
It's a little bit scary. Looks like this top tower might go down here. Set can't really do much against these double range champions.
Yeah,
He's
Lux
also getting poked under his tower.
Oh no, Lux really trying to put. Oh, and is going to be able to land the stun and the ultimate, taking the set out. Shield already been used, so wasn't able to soak that damage up. Jax a little bit of a flank here, is able to drop the Rift Herald here. Tristana want to be able to pick that one up.
Top the tower here. There it goes down. All outer towers are now down for the side of Demacia, but I don't know what they can do to come back into this game. It's an 8,000 gold, 9,000 gold deficit now.
At 20 minutes, too. This is looking
a pretty
really
strong
grim.
scaling team comp as well, where the Lux does not really fall off and the Jax gets really strong, as well as that Jhin. And Gods of Demacia also have a team comp where that Lee Sin and Talon do fall off pretty hard, as well as the set does a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Swain looking for something here.
Yeah, I'm Gods of Demacia, and I'm asking myself, what can we salvage from this? Oh my goodness, the ultimate been used, barely misses the Talon there. We do have a little bit of a dive picture coming through. Lux really trying to land that poke because she knows that she is at the 20 stacks on the Majayas already, but she does know that her damage will melt anybody if she catches anyone out with that snare.
Yeah, if I'm Gods of Demacia here, I'm wondering which is easier, opening up the game or just FFing it right now, because this is not looking good for them at all. They're not able to get anything done. They're not rotating top to stop this. We've got Lee Sin down farming in his jungle instead of helping defending these towers, as their inhib is getting pushed now, and nobody has like any wave clear up here to stop it.
Yeah, I really think the mental has gone boom here for the side of Gods of Demacia. They're just unable to really pay attention to what's going on. But the ultimate is going to be used from the Talon. Is he going to be able to know the Sona will whiff her ult onto the Talon? But that's still a lot of damage coming out of Talon onto these squishy targets.
He doesn't even proc his passive yet either. With one item.
Oh, but the Q does land here. Jhin wanted to go in a little bit on, but the set does want to get the suplex on. Ultimate being used here from the Lux, able to take it out, and then we do see some deaths coming through. Jhin able to pick that up as well. Swain wanted to go in on this Lux, is able to get her pulled back. The ultimate is going to be used, but falling low, too low, and it's going to fall. Oh my goodness, huge damage coming onto the Tristana. Heimerdinger coming online as well. Talon really wants to go in. He sees so many low champions, but it's just not enough. The numbers are already too low. 4 for 1 on the side of Gods of Demacia. Excuse me, in favor of Defiant.
Yeah, so you see Defiant here, 22 minutes into this game with a nearly 12,000 gold lead, taking this inhibitor right now. They might be even looking for more, maybe getting early close.
Yeah, if Lee Sin is going to int here, that will be a death.
Shot by the Lux, just one combo goes down, and that ultimate on Lux is going to be about a 20-second cooldown with that kill reset.
Yeah, the damage is just too much coming out of the Lux. Is the Jax going to be caught out here? I don't even know if it's worth it, though. The Jax can just turn on him 6-0-3. You got to imagine, even without the Trinity Force.
Lux does have lots of gold in her pocket, too, I'm pretty sure right here. She has the 2 items and the Medjais as well as the boots. I want to see what she picks up here on this recall. She's going to pick up 2 large rods, so she's almost on that death cap already, which I think she's going to one-shot just about anybody after that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. 2 Demacia large rods. The Medjai stacks is too big. And we do see the Dragon started up here for the side of Defiant. They're going to go take that easy peasy.
Once again, we see the Lee Sin here with the Ninja Tabbies, which, if you're seeing this Lux right now, I understand the Jax is pretty strong, but this Lux and Heimer are both enormous. You cannot disrespect that.
No, absolutely. Twitch chat is pointing out here that the gap between mid lane is super massive black hole level. And I have to agree. 11-0-7 versus an 0-7-2 Talon. The gap is absolutely massive.
As somebody in Twitch chat was wanting to know, Lux is at 548 ability power right now.
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. The ultimate damage was huge. Able to catch out 2 members there. Falling down this mid-turret. Oh my god, the ultimate use from the Heimerdinger is going to be able to take out the set as well. Swain's going to be going down. Jin favors himself with flash forward, getting that execute damage on that 4th bullet. Inhibitor is going to fall slowly after the turret here. This has to be game.
No way Talon can do anything. He can't even clear these minions in the top wave. Nonetheless, stop 4 members from diving into him.
Oh my!
It's just game for Defiant. They're just gonna win right here.
Sub 25 minutes here. Talon does want to go in, get a little bit of damage, but the Sun ultimate is going to be used, and the ultimate from the Lux is going to come out as well. This is an absolute stomp coming out here from the side of Defiant. Picking up a little more kills and padding the stats here. The Nexus will surely fall. Tristana just going to run away to her base, and that is going to be GG coming out from the side of Defiant with the super massive black hole gap.
15,000 gold lead in that game. 25 minutes in as well only.
I just can't imagine it.
I don't know what went wrong there for Demacia. I feel like their mental was just gone after they lost that first game, that devastating first loss. They just gave up, I think, because they had 3 first-time players on their champions, and you could tell in that game too. The Lee Sin mechanics were not there. The talent did not know what his damage was. Set wasn't playing bad, but he was not playing how Set should.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of confusion there. You got to wonder, what was the strategy going in for the side of Gods of Demacia? Did you just want to get a little bit of knowledge, maybe possibly even experience? I'm not really sure, because it seemed like the mental did go boom. Lux was just able to completely demolish the Talon, who still thought he had the damage from last game, which was a massive Diana, but unfortunately just going too ham.
To the Talon at all.
No, that's even different sources of damage, physical versus magic. I'm just not sure what the call here was. Rylan, what are your thoughts here on the overall of the series? I mean, just looking at a 2-0 stomp here from Defiant.
I think the first game was very messy from both teams. I do believe Gods of Demacia did have a very strong opportunity to just win that game, but it felt like at a certain point that they were just trying to lose it, trying to let Defiant come back, trying to not scale up like they should have. But then in the second game, I don't know what they were thinking. 3 first-time picks, like we've said, not playing at all as good as they were in that first game. Doesn't even appear that they were trying after the first couple deaths. They just gave up, I think.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm seeing as well. Just a little bit of a give up there.
Lux damage, 27,000 damage that game.
Oh my gosh.
The highest on the side of Gods of Demacia was 7,000, and it was Talon, but nothing even close. She did 4 times more than the next highest.
Yeah, that's
or the highest on Gods of Demacia.
That is a absolute feels bad moment. for for the side of Gods of Demacia. I mean, they really, really, really tried. They really tried in the first game, taking it all the way to 53 minutes. But this game, I think they were just so fatigued, unable to pull it back. Look at this, though. We're pointing out here that Lux's damage is more than the entirety of Gods of Demacia combined. Just showing you how dominant that pick was.
That is ridiculous that she was able to do that much damage.
Yeah.
It's well over the rest. It's well over them as well. It's not even close.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, are we wanting to... I have seen on other streams, are we awarding like a MVP for these games?
Yes, we can award an MVP for the game. I was looking to get an interview with the Lux, just waiting for the friend request to be accepted here. But this is what I got to say. Let me hear your vote first.
So, for the first game, I would say that the Master Yi was the MVP, bringing it back. He wasn't doing much in the early game, but then brought it back. And then in the second game, I'm assuming you agree that Lux was just super dominant, and I would award her the MVP overall throughout both series.
Because her absolutely.
Brand performance also was just, her ultimates in those team fights would just destroy Gods of Demacia, and they were never able to do anything about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm agreeing as well. Deli Rios on this Lux is going to take the MVP for the series for me as well. Just able to do the damage that needed to be done, no matter what champion. We did see just really heavy AoE magic damage focused mid laners coming out from the side of Defiant, and you got to imagine that with that kind of setup, with that damage being put out, doesn't matter if you're going to die or not, but you want to make sure you get your damage out there for your team in any situation. You got to hand it to, especially Game 2, able to just demolish Gods of Demacia.
Yes, and one player that I want to point out too is the Lee Sin and the Vi on the side of Gods of Demacia. I think Demacia needs to get a coach to help them finalize a better jungle pool for him, or work on some better champions for him to be able to work with, and try and get something done for him to be able to cause some impact in these games. Because even in that first game, if he was able to do something on that Vi, wasn't in the side lanes or was there for the smites or something when they took their Baron, if they don't miss that, I think they win the game there. So it was very, very rough on the sides of Gods of Demacia with the jungler.
Absolutely. I am going to be bringing in the support for Gods of Demacia, XX Howling XX, going to be bringing here shortly here for an interview to kind of get some perspective on what the communication was like. So just a moment here. All right, now we got that going in.
There we go.
All right, Howling, thank you so much for joining us for a post-game interview here. Tell me a little bit what the transition was like between Game 1 and Game 2.
Well, contrary to belief, we were still in high spirits.
Okay.
We were still in high spirits. It wasn't a complete give up, as in there are some demoralizing things that happened during the champion select, which is something that I've always talked to ESDL about, which is unlocking every champion like they do in Clash.
Yes.
Because Set was never supposed to be picked up. So it was supposed to be Fiora in the top lane, right? Fiora in the top lane, and that kind of just snowballed us into picking what we picked just to deal with the loss. So the whole point was for us to really sit back and kind of gaze opportunities, because we saw that Defiance are good at playing. They're good at playing in a point where they're like, okay, they got this really aggressive style that if they get the ball rolling, they never stop. So it's this ball rolling type of thing that they never get to stop on. And so I was like, okay, our idea is, okay, we don't care. We're gonna not give them so much in the early game, where we'll pick picks that catch up later, right?
Right.
So let's just say we fat fingered. Let's just say we fat fingered.
It's all good. We all get one.
Right? We fat fingered, and Lux got ahead of us a little too fast. for our liking. So
Now,
Yeah.
could you
so
put a
as
little? I'm sorry, you're good.
nah, because as we were trying to bring her back into line with the rest of what we were going to do,
Mm.
so we were trying to bring her back into line, and it didn't work out for us. So
Yeah. Unfortunately, just able to take over that game there. Rylan, you had a
right.
question.
I was wondering what was behind the Lee Sin and Talon picks in that game. As we noticed that neither of those champions have been played by those players, so we were a little bit confused by those picks.
Those picks came from practice because again, we practiced those picks for the actual team that we were supposed to play. Now, what what happened was there was two subs on that team that we didn't get to view before the game got started.
Mm.
So the mid
Okay.
lane was actually one of those people. We had a plan scouted for the team as it was,
Ah,
but
I
with
see.
though. So then, okay, so I never planned on playing Nautilus. That'll never happen. That'll never happen a day in its life. So I
It's
didn't
so
plan on playing.
strong, though.
I love Nautilus, but I have like 600k currently,
Bruh.
like like 600k, and that little infernal thing on top of my level 7 is crazy. So so I know I'm not getting Nautilus. That's out the way.
Okay. Okay.
That's out the way. Nautilus is gone. But what I didn't expect for them to go deep into my history and ban the Maokai, which is my other pick for my Nautilus.
Ah.
They
Okay,
banned
we
that
were confused by the Maokai bans from them
because I play it support and it
Okay.
works.
okay, because we did see multiple, or
Right.
both times I believe, you guys had your top laners
Right.
locked in and they were still banning the Maokai. So we were maybe thinking it was a support pick.
Yes. So I'm gonna go ahead and confirm that for you. Yes, that's the support pick. That was my ace in the hole, and they took it out. So they shot my ace in the hole, and I'm not TF. I don't hold that many cards.
Just shot it right down.
So shot it right down. So it kind of forced us to go into this mode where we started picking stuff like, okay, we practice it, let's bring it out, and let's try to slow it down, right?
Mm.
Let's try to slow the game down, not make the game go so fast, and then maybe we can just kind of scire ourselves up.
I got you.
That didn't happen. It
Yeah.
didn't happen.
And that's what we were talking about in the draft. We saw that the plan was there for Gods of Demacia in order to scale up because they had the better late game team fight scaling composition. But Defiant just had their way in the sense of they didn't. It doesn't matter what picks they picked. They didn't pick any tanks in game 1 or game 2, and just
Correct.
absolutely were able to just have their way. And it felt a little confusing to say the least. But I think. Maybe just a little bit better execution, and we would have seen a completely different series.
Right. We've been practicing. We've been practicing and trying to get a feel for what we want to do and who we want to be as a team. The thing about it is they're all new players. This is not a oh, surprise, this is a Diamond 4 from his other account.
Hey.
No, these are actual Iron people. And again, I got drafted to this team pretty late
Yeah.
because, I'm as y'all know, I'm a caster mostly.
Right. I was shouting you out in the first drive. I was like, "Oh, that's Howling up in this game. Okay, let's see."
So I'm a caster normally, and I only cast because I really don't like to play as much as I like to talk about the game.
Right.
So, but I'm playing with them to try to, trying to get them on the right path on how this is supposed to go. Moving from solo queue to team format, and it's difficult. It's difficult. We have a coach, so that part we have a coach, but we weren't able to contact him before this game started.
Oh no.
So
I
we
see.
just
That's
went.
unfortunate.
So we just went with what we already practiced with our coach help by scouting the other team. But now the two people are missing, and that makes the huge difference because their mid is way more competent than the mid that we scouted for.
Just coming up here with the picks. I mean,
you see what I'm saying? That brand was like way more competent than we planned for. So that also gives you what happened during the dragon in the first dragon in the first game. That's normally the flow of our team. It's a it's a gank up top, move down bottom, 450 we be set up. By that time wards will be placed and we can go ahead and try to gank bottom, push them out and try to get dragon.
Absolutely. And and that's a beautiful part of the ESDL specifically is it gives a chance for players of all levels, all the way down from iron, even to diamonds if they do choose to play, which we do have some in the league. It gives everybody a chance to develop skills and develop an idea of macro and have an ability to get into this game in a competitive environment. Because right now, solo queue, not in the best of states, but there is still a competitive desire for this game, especially for young players just picking it up. League has done a lot of advertising, wanting to get new players, and ESDL is picking up the slack where Riot has left off to bring in these players and show them this is a game that they can enjoy and then they can get in.
I definitely agree, and I appreciate ESDL and everything that it does for us. Man, it's absolutely amazing. But
absolutely.
But the biggest thing is changing the mentality. So once Lux got big, right? So let's talk about once Lux ate my grandma and now she's big and she's huge and it's really hard for us to stop her.
Right.
I didn't felt the energy go down.
Okay.
All right, I felt the energy not be where it was.
To
say and I'm saying it in the least because it was like, okay, Talon realized that he didn't do or didn't follow the plan, and it cost him, and it hurt. It hurt. It hurt.
Right. And that DC in the beginning too, where the pause had to come through. We were talking about how Talon has a great level 2 spike, but unfortunately unable to take any advantage of that because of the disconnect. And what was really exciting, that game 1 was super exciting, back and forth. Brand was dumping out damage, Diana was dumping out damage. It was exciting to watch and could have gone either way. It's just a little bit of fatigue possibly even coming in, and a little bit of leftovers from game 1 where Diana, now playing Talon, thinking that one shot everybody, just unable to have that kind of damage.
Well, we took a full 5-minute break, and I suggest teams, everybody who's listening, take that 5-minute break. It helped put the game into a real perspective. So we ended up wanting to ban their bans, right? So we wanted to ban the Lux, we wanted to ban the Jhin, we wanted to ban the Jax, and then we ended up getting hit with the Brand, the Teemo, so we ended up getting hit with these picks that we weren't planned for. Right? We didn't have a set plan. The thing about it is, everybody got a plan until you get punched in the mouth.
Ooh.
We've been punched in the mouth. And thinking on the fly while trying to stop the bleeding, it ain't fun.
No.
It's not a fun experience, but we did the best we could. In game 1, we were fully in there trying to stop the bleeding. Okay, this is what we need to stop the bleeding. We need to kill him, move this way, go here, do this. And we took that front seat to do that, but it did take a big toll out of us. It took a lot out of us, and it drained them.
One thing I would like to recommend is, so in that game 1, we did see a bunch of itemization that was a little less than optimal, I guess you could say.
Hit me, brother. I'd like to hear it.
With the Jinx building the 3rd Zeal item, which wasn't very beneficial for her after she had already built the first 2. She had the IE, the Essence Reaver. It was a little much to build that because the crit wasn't doing anything, the attack speed wasn't doing anything for her. And then Diana not prioritizing the Zonias there, as that is a key item on the champion. And the lack of sweepers that we saw in that first game was a little rough, especially after how many kills that Teemo was picking up with just the shrooms by themselves. That was most of his kills. The lack of vision to be able to get rid of those was very destroying to you guys.
We talked about it. I was talking about it as that was going on. The whole sweeper thing, I was like, okay, I'm using sweepers and clearing as much as I can. I'm like, okay, and in my head, I'm bronze too. I don't have to normally say, hey, get sweepers, but
Right.
it slipped my mind. Oh my God, they're iron. Teemo is not something we run against every day. They need to know they need to get sweepers. So when you seen them switch to sweepers, I said something. I was like, hey, we need more sweepers. And then that's when they did it. So they were really leaning on me to make, so that's my L. I will take I will take the L on the whole sweeper thing. That was me. I would definitely take an L on the sweeper part.
Sometimes you just gotta take the licks where you get them. But hey, looking forward to seeing the development that's going to come through, because it sounds like there's a good head for the game. Just a little more practice, a little bit more training up these iron level players, getting some strategy into their heads.
Right.
More iron page builds and things like that. I shameless plug, highly suggest Mobalytics. That really helps out a lot for me.
Facts.
You can even get it where it imports it into your game, so that would be absolutely good, especially for the Jinx in the first game. But absolute, fantastic game one to cast, absolutely, and just an overall fun time. Rylan, any final thoughts?
No, I think that's about wraps it up for us today. GG's to both the teams. It was fun to watch. That first game was obviously a little bit
funner,
a little tiring. It was and a lot in length. It was a rough series, obviously, for both sides. But
definitely,
I think everybody showed what they could do and really proved themselves today.
So yeah, we're gonna keep working, and hopefully we look better. And you two, you guys have been casting a lot. I see that.
Hey,
I see that. I like to go. I don't have to cast every game.
Yo, low key, I would like to see like a little bit more staggering between the schedule, like maybe a 5 o'clock, then a 7 o'clock.
You know how many times I've made that pitch that we should have like a whole schedule, like a day of League of Legends.
Yeah,
that would be dope.
I would be so excited. It would be an absolute fun time, but honestly, great games to cast. I love the ESDL. I want to see more what they're coming out with, but absolute fun games here between Defiant and Gods of Demacia. Howling, thank you so much for coming in here with a post-game interview. Rylan, it was an absolute pleasure being able to cast this game with you. Fully enjoyed it. Hopefully we can get some more casts together in the future, but from everyone here and including myself, thank you again. I'm your host, Faoline. Look me up if you have any questions or concerns. I'll be happy to answer them for you. Again, make sure you follow the ESDL. I'm also here on Twitch as well, so sayonara and good luck. I don't have a sign-off queue yet, but thanks a lot.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.